Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork.
You don't see the curvature of the earth. That stuff is flat.
GLOBEBUSTERS taking over. Bye bye moonlight and rover. NASA so mediocre. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Gotta ride this roller coaster, but the truth is getting closer. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is. Get the shovel for the spice hubble. Piecing up the puzzle. Need to burst your bubble. Evil gonna crumble, yeah. Sit down, be humble. Got the ball, you better fumble. You get mad, cause at this fight I'm about your uncle.
And then they call me the liar. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable the pathetic techniques that they have to use to prove their heliocentric model.
Vibes at the president, Jeran got the evidence. Arrow slaying Jesuits and Zack is evident. That the earth electric and it's resonant. Your resident is heavens and I hope you settle in like some sediment. If we so wrong, why they lying to discredit it? That's not too intelligent. That's a guy not in court, but we ain't really in the settlement. It's time to awaken from the pseudoscience sedatives.
GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Bye bye moonlight and rover. NASA so mediocre. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Gotta ride this roller coaster, but the truth is getting closer. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is.
Inner World Productions.
Welcome to GLOBEBUSTERS. All right, we are in season 11, episode 6. Why would they lie?
And welcome everybody to
Whoa!
GLOBEBUSTERS.
Why does that always happen?
I don't think I'm supposed to be doing the introduction, but I might. We are missing.
Oh, you
Austin.
didn't hear me, but they heard me.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, welcome. I was like, yeah, what's playing? All right, anyway, welcome to episode 6. Why would they lie? Never heard this question before.
No.
But should be interesting, man. We got a lot of fun stuff going on in the community per usual. So let's introduce who we got on the panel today. And start with Jeran. What's going on, my brother?
Another day, another 50 cents. How about you?
You're balling. You got me beat.
Yeah, you could buy 2 of those gums at the store, in the little twisty kid dispensers, little gum dispensers. I'll get you one. Don't worry.
Thank you, man. You are a grifter. All right. And we also have Zack from Good Times for All. How's it going, my brother?
Austin, Jeran. Having a good week this week. I had my first children's book published. It's available out on Amazon, paperback and Kindle right now. And I just finished my second one. I mean, it's.
You have a link. Can we get a link in the chat so I can?
Yeah, I was looking.
Just open up the app and go to the book section. It'll pop right in your face.
Okay.
And
David.
I want to vouch for Zach's book. It literally puts Goodnight Moon to shame. And his second book is an equal bestseller. So I'm honored to be on the show with the 2-time best-selling feature author.
Would it be all right, Dave, if I put you down as a co-author? As much as you've helped me with this, and because you've changed words, you've added your own. Okay, cool. All right, I'd like to do that. I wanted to make sure it was all right with you and all that, but no, you guys, David has been amazing with this, and he's not blowing smoke up my butt either. I know that because I tell David a lot of my ideas, and he's told me before, don't quit your day job, just flat out. Don't quit your day job. So, yeah, when David tells you something is good, usually always he's going to be serious about it.
I'm still confused how he's on the show. He wasn't on. And did somebody say Rumpelstiltskin 3 times or something?
Well, that's
Just say
so
it
funny.
once,
He totally ruined the surprise introduction. He just like had to plug the app before we even got through the first
I
two
didn't even
people.
plug the app. I'm plugging his book. But on the app. Yeah. Look at that. It's a backwards app sell. You got me.
We couldn't even get 30 seconds in before we had to plug the app.
What's the name of the app, Austin?
It's too long, man. To be continued.
All right.
So, Dave Weiss, everybody, how's it going?
It's going great. Fantastic. And I'm truly excited about Zach's books. They're really awesome.
Yeah, I've always had this knack for just writing, very childish poetry, just whimsical, and yeah, it just kind of comes to me. I can't do it whenever I want. I kind of have to be in that right mood, but now that I'm paying attention again, the mood comes around a lot more. So yeah, I'm going to do a lot of these. It's called the Why series. So every book is going to start off, do you ever wonder why? And then it's going to be this one's why are the stars? Why is the moon is in review right now? And then why is the moon? Why is the rain? Why are the birds? Why are the bees? And just explain, what they do and what a child might see outside when they're looking at these things.
Okay.
Nice, dude. Will you do a what is next, and then do what is magnetism as the first one?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm kind of joking because no one knows what the answer to that is, but
8 to.
But that's it. But Zach, tell them how all your books end. The final line in the book.
Oh yes. What is the sun? I do not know, but I still appreciate the show. All of them are going to be like, what are they? Like the sun, the moon, the stars. Every one, I'm going to make sure the children know. I don't know what they are, but I appreciate
It's very good.
nice, very cool. I've heard it was good.
Yeah, you guys are going to be getting one. I got to get your guys' addresses, and I'll send you guys one.
Don't worry about me.
I was on Iron Realm Media, and I was telling people, I was like, if you're looking for something to do in Flat Earth, something that might be able to generate you a few working dollars, living dollars, kids' books. There's going to be a void. As Flat Earth opens up, there's going to be a void, a need for kids' books. So Zach's like, I want to do that. 9 days later, he's published, created, written, illustrated, finished, and published in 9 days. That's how easy stuff is these days. So
yeah, it is really, folks. If you guys, need any help, I know someone asked to. On the next one, after I get it written and all the pictures and everything done, I'll show you what I do.
Zach, make a video about your process. Sure. And also, Zach, last thing, and then I'll throw it back. How much did all of this cost you to get the book published from start to finish?
$0 for the first one, and I think I paid $5 for the AI art for the second one.
There you go.
Wow.
No, that's cool, man, because I put that on my list of things I wanted to do and just never did it. But it's hard to find books that you want to like read to your children, you know? So,
and these all rhyme.
Cool.
They're just like little nursery rhymes. It's a new set of nursery rhymes.
I'm tempted to have more kids now.
I'll allow it. I will.
Well, at least we're gonna try. We're gonna try.
You know your plan.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try. That's all. That's all I can say.
Don't be upset if it doesn't happen.
How could you be upset when you try?
Yeah, all things.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but Dave is actually going to be going to Antarctica here soon. So do you want to tell the people about that?
Yeah, I want nothing to do with these charlatans. I wouldn't go to a taco place to meet those guys. I wouldn't meet them anywhere, let alone Antarctica, where anything could happen. But these guys are.
They may have lied originally, but then they did an apology video in which they lied again. So it's not that.
They are backpedaling. If anyone didn't see Jeran's stream, was that last night or the night before? Whatever on Mick. Don't get McDuffied. Make sure you watch it.
Yeah, don't get McDuff.
And we can watch a couple videos. We want to kind of expose all of that for those who don't know what's going on. But I do have a solution. I said I will go if McToon beats me in a boxing match. So.
I said if McToon beats you in a boxing match, you need to go from life. So.
Someone was like, he used to train jiu-jitsu. I'm like, then he should take the boxing fight. He should take the match.
I'm just saying, I would pay to watch that.
I know a lot of people who would, but I mean, just we're wearing gloves. It's not like it's it's no big deal.
He could even wear headgear. Tell him he can wear headgear.
Jaren's gonna do the whole "Let's get ready to rumble." It's gonna be a good time. Sponsored by the Flat Earth Sun Moon Topographical Plane Magnetic Declination Correction app, and
go to the book section, and the first thing that pops up is Zach's book.
the advertisement section is just like the ads are just pronouncing the title. I'm joking. But yeah, so if you guys don't know, there's this thing called Final Experiment. Jeran's deep dove into it quite a bit, but I saw I was CC'd with Dave weeks after the fact, and I'm like, this sounds like a Glober, and Dave was like, this is all weird.
Day one.
Yeah.
From day one, I was sending emails like, who are you? I want nothing to do with this. I don't play these stupid games. If you have a real experiment, let us know what it is, and we'll give you some feedback. And and then it just goes into him lying. And I mean, watch Jeran's stream from last night. Nobody should have anything to do with these guys. And then they'll twist that as, we're running away, the final experiment that will prove the globe. Like, how come nobody else has filmed the 24-hour sun from this location?
Jeran broke it down. Jeran broke it down really well last night. So I second the go watch this stream thing. Jeran, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, if you go to my video from last night, I just was looking at the comments this morning, and I saw I think his name is Sean Hawkins or something like that. You know who that is?
Unfortunately, yeah.
You know this. So he's in the chat, and this is what baffles me. Is like in the chat, he's saying that he's like, where did Jeran say that they lied? It seems like Jeran lied this whole video. I'm like just shocked. Like, it's so upsetting. It's like, what are you talking about? The whole video was me showing them lying, and then you just got people being like, I didn't see any lies. I don't know what he's talking about. What is going on with people? He
hasn't seen any proofs of flat Earth either. So what?
Yeah, I mean, dude, in that conversation that McDuffie had with Sean, right? He's like, yeah, well, I've had a lot of flat earthers tell me that McToon lies, but they've never been able to. He's so smug, and like, we're in this new world now where pastors are just like disgusting, deplorable, dishonest, smug psychos. Like what? Like
when he said MC Tune on that video, I was like, what?
He's just so smug, though. That's not like okay. Just I mean, not everyone here believes in scripture or whatever. It says you'll know them by their fruits, right? You're not supposed to be like that. You're not supposed to be this like, I'm so much better than you. I'm gonna troll you, manipulate you, and deceive you, and be all smug and laugh and deceptive and play little games. How are you acting like you're talking on behalf of the Creator, bro? You're in way more dangerous territory than just being an atheist. I'm just gonna let you know when you do that. I would never like who you must not actually believe in a creator if you think that like he doesn't care about you doing that. So I don't know, that part's the most wild part. I mean, because obviously I've had a preacher week, right? We've had the preacher from Baptist Bias or whatever, and he's posting lies on X. Like I make a point that there's no videos out in space past low Earth orbit that have stars in it. And the reason is if they're out there supposedly traveling in space, they're going to have to keep up with what the constellations and stars should look like relative to their position as they go through space. So I'm like, yeah, there's nothing out past low Earth orbit. So he puts a tweet and he quotes it and says, there are no videos of stars in space. What's it? And then shows like a live stream from the ISS showing the time lapse of stars. And I'm like, dude, I said outside of low Earth orbit, I've seen that video. Which, of course, the stars actually go through the Earth in that video. The stars go through the Earth.
It's like weird. It's like they know that their audience doesn't care, right? Their audience doesn't care. Their audience already decided, and so anything they say is true. So they can just literally get away with just lying, and then their audience even backs them. Like,
as a preacher, though, like even.
I know. It's like insane.
They know if something is slightly complicated, and they just say whatever they want to say about it in a confident voice, that the weak-minded will just believe it. Because they're not going to check. They're not going to understand. There's no proof of flat Earth. I haven't seen anything. And the weak-minded will be like, oh, there's no proof of flat Earth. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a perfect example, actually, is with the whole, like, where McToon got demonically possessed midstream. Jeran showed it. That's a perfect example. He's, like, so emotional and acting like he's just disgusted because he's so moral and I'm lying and all that stuff. And it's like, no, I was just telling the truth. What is wrong with you?
If I ever saw David do that, I would take David to the side and say, dude, you need to take time off. Like, you've now let this get to you way too much. Like, not one of us has ever been like, you dirty bastards, you, and just like lost your veins popping out of your head. And like, you've got a problem. You need to relax. You need to fucking go away for a couple years and rethink this whole thing. Because he just acts like he's, and then it's like, then you find out he's the one behind this experiment, or most likely is. And it's like, oh, well, I was thinking about going with Austin. Like, I really want to get on a plane that's paid for by somebody who's like, you dirty bastard, you manure face, and just all these things saying.
Yo, it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's like Kai was like, I don't have a good feeling about it, like, immediately. Now, I mean,
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, my wife is already like, oh, are you sure about this? I'm like, well, I don't think there's anything, if as long as two of us go, it'd be hard to say, oh, Austin and Jeran both had a heart attack. And then she's like, well, do you know this guy Will at all? I'm like, yeah, he's a pastor. He seems cool. And then I had to tell her next day, I'm like, never mind.
It'd be a plane crash. It would be a plane crash, right? I mean,
yeah, I don't. Who knows what it would be? But again, it's like, the problem is you would never start. Let's say me and you sat down and we said, hey, let's come up with an experiment. We're going to do this experiment. We want to have the Globers involved, and we're going to fund it or whatever. The very first thing you and I would say is, okay, how do we be transparent? How do we make sure? Right. We would take steps. We would never be like, all right, here's what we do. We be deceptive from the very beginning. And we pretend that we're doing it, and we have you sit in the computer and you feed me. I mean, it's just like, and then why would you think that would be okay? How could you be going through with this plan and be like, all right, if we're deceptive from the start and we lie to Sean and we lie to Jeran and we lie to these people and we don't tell anybody that McToon and I have known each other for 6 months, then I'm sure when they find out, everybody will be fine with it and they'll still just trust us to go to Antarctica with us. It's like, no, you've wrecked that. Now you've destroyed that.
So, I wouldn't go into my backyard with these people without my pistol on my hip.
And his apology, he's like, I want to apologize to everybody because I was caught off guard. Wait, you were caught off guard when you were pretending that you had no idea who it was? You're like, hey, I heard that you were invited. That's pretty cool. What do you think about that? He was caught off guard.
Are you guys down to watch that video by Robot Polisher?
Let's watch that.
Play that. That's so good.
Yeah, let's let hey, if you have children in the room, you might want to just have them go out for this, because this is it's a McToon does not. It's not a good look from McToon. If that's
it literally looks demonic.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
He is demonically
so if you have
possessed.
little kids in the room, yeah, I'd have
people are like, why won't you debate him? Are you kidding me? Or like, and just real fast. I mean,
for the 100th time he needs.
But it's like he went to Harrison and reached out to them at InfoWars. Don't do it. It's a trap. And like, what's making him go crazy is like, he can't stop me, and he's like really weird and obsessed with like me talking about flat Earth. So that's what I think it is.
I think that he actually has a demon inside of him, and when a demon gets backed into a corner like that, it freaks out. So. The question is, does he know he's demonically possessed, or is he just a purposeful, knowing deceiver?
I don't think he knows, but I mean, so everyone knows the context here, right? There's something called the final experiment, and then we were getting these emails asking us to go, and the big genius, innovative idea was to see the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I called Dave and I said, what do you think about this? He was like basically saying, no like real truther would be this way about the test. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, what are they going to say, right? The sun, they're just going to say the 24-hour sun. I'd be down to go a free trip to see the sun and show that it's not there. And we talked about a few ways that we would potentially go. And just so everyone knows the context, we were all planning on potentially going in good faith.
Right. And once I saw it and I kind of looked into the location, and then he said the date. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can find this exact trip. Sure enough, I found the exact trip leaving December 14th. So I found the trip where it was going. There's just one camp in Antarctica called Union Glacier Camp, where it's the only one in Antarctica where you can do that. There's like 70 tents where people go and they stay for a couple days or whatever. So I started thinking, okay, wait a second. So this guy's going to pay for me. The total price of the trip, just flight from Punta Arenas to Antarctica and back, is $31,500. So then I started thinking about all the additional things. There's like a list of all the clothing you have to bring, which is like a $2,000 list. I don't have any winter clothing, let alone mask and goggles and all these things. So then it was like, all right, well, I would need a lot more than 31. I'd need like 45,000 with everything included, because we still got to fly down there, stay in a hotel a couple nights. You have to have like, in case there's a delay, there's like, they want you to have 3 days on either side. It's just weird. So I'm like thinking all through this. I'm like, okay, I could see doing this possibly. I'll go ahead and put my name in the hat. Will seems like he's a preacher. He came on and talked to Austin and I for a debate. It seems like it's on the up and up. And then luckily, right before I made a video where I was just going to make a video saying, hey, I'm eligible. If you'll pay for me, I'll go down there. And then right before that, we find out that Toon has basically been coaching this guy from behind the scenes for 6 months. In fact, I'm pretty positive. I would say for sure he was coached through the entire debate that Austin and I had with him back in January. And we thought it was weird because originally he was like some preacher. He made really dumb videos. And then when we did the debate, Austin and I were both kind of shocked at the end. Like, man, that guy had a little bit more knowledge than he let on. He kind of seemed like at first like, oh, I'm new to this. I don't know, you know. And then he's like quizzing us on things that seemed higher level, kind of just shocked us. We still answered him as we normally would. But then come to find out now, him and Toon have been talking or together for like 6 months, pretending that they don't know each other when they do. And so it seems like, and then he goes on Sean's channel. This is a month ago. I wish I would have seen it a month ago. And flat out says to him, you know, brings it up. He's the one who brings it up and says, you know, did you know you were invited to this thing in this channel? So then Sean said, no, I didn't. I forgot about it. He says, oh, okay. And then Sean just asked him, do you have anything to do with it? And he's like, no, I don't know who's. That's not catching somebody off guard. If the person's asking you about something, he must have thought in his head, what am I going to do if he asks me if I have anything involved in it? So it's clear deception. And once you find out that these guys are lying and they're behind the scenes lying to each other. And by the way, Toon, I asked Toon before on my show, Toon, do you know who's in charge of that experiment? He said no. And then like 2 weeks before that, he asked me, like, he's like, Jeran, are you the one that's behind that experiment? I'm like, what? Like, no. And I remember him asking me that, and me thinking to myself, like, why would I be okay with, why would he think that I would lie about it? Like, who would lie like about being that channel being there, and come to find out it's theirs? So they're even like, I don't have time for games. I don't have time for somebody to ask me, like, is it you who's doing this, when you know who it is?
Remember when I called FTFE out in the debate too on your channel? I'm like, oh yeah, he knows who it is. And
because it was obvious.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to goad us into earning points. On his website, you can earn a point by interviewing him or agreeing to go. And it's, you know, and so far it's 2-0, globe to flat because McToon and FTFE, so, you know, have interviewed him or done videos about him or whatever. So
is my name on the no list?
I have no idea. I just said I want nothing.
Well, look, I'm gonna show the emails too in a second with me, because he just emailed me again.
And the other thing is, if Jeran, you could bring this up if you want. You know, we looked into Will's past a little bit, and there's some interesting accusations about him. And Matthew on X, he's been looking into it, and he says he can't find any videos that show a congregation during any of his professionally videoed sermons. Like, it's like there's like nobody there. And I actually talked with Joe Hill last night, who Will actually flew in, Joe from Effed Up World channel, Effed Up World, and to debate McToon at his church. And Joe said there was about 30 to 40 people there. That's, you know, 4 rows of 10 people. But including staff. And the question is, you know, were they regular churchgoers? You know, does he have a regular church service there? Maybe he does. I don't know, but it's very, very suspect.
It just keeps getting worse and worse, because he told Sean that he has been a preacher for about 2 years when that preacher died. And he's got these videos being a financial advisor, which is where he got into something sketchy a year ago. So
he had 2 settlements where he had to pay. He was sued for $100,000 each of false, bad, investment advice, and he settled and paid out of his own pocket. So it's interesting that him and his wife were driving Teslas, and their credit cards are denied for Joe's hotel, and they have to switch credit cards. There's some weird stuff going on there.
Him and his wife drive Teslas, you said?
Oh yeah, they both have Teslas, and they love it, and they love Elon. He's the best. And when Joe went to check into the hotel that they booked for him, they said the credit card was denied. He had to call them up. The wife came back and gave another credit card, and it went through. He said, but giving them credit, they were very nice. They picked him up. They paid for everything. So I'm not faulting them there, but just very suspect.
But when
they won't be suing Elon for not having self-driving cars. Did you hear about that? It's open for, he can be sued now. Tesla can be sued because they said they were going to have self-driving cars by this time, blah, 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 blah. And they don't. $20,000 people were spending on this stuff.
Wow. Anyway, my thing is about other accusations about, possibly being an asset or these kind of things. It's definitely a possibility. Now, what I'll say is I just don't want to make those claims, because then let's say you make a claim and say that he's an asset for this reason, or he got had to pay this settlement, and then somebody shows that it's not true. Then it makes it look like we were in the wrong when we're not in the wrong. They are the ones being dishonest. So I leave it at there. Like the fact that he's being dishonest is enough for me to say nobody should deal with them. And it shouldn't be about, now I've got to go and pinpoint what exactly were his deception. No, he was dishonest to Sean. He was dishonest about being in charge of this channel and making it seem like it's just him when it actually is tuned behind the scenes. And you can just tell all his arguments are tunes. He's been like coaching him. So anyway, that's deceptive. And then in talking to them the other day, I was like, dude, you didn't even tell Sean you were being coached by Tune the whole interview. And he's like,
his buddy. He said his buddy.
Yeah, but he says it. He tells me, no, I did disclose it. I did disclose that he was on the air with me. I'm like, at the very end of the interview. Can you imagine thinking that that's honest, Dave? If I did a debate against somebody, did the whole debate, and then at the end said, by the way, Austin's been here in my Skype window the whole time talking to me, and then being like, but that's honest. It's honest that I just did the whole debate and didn't tell you, but I told you at the end. It's an honest thing that I did. It's like crazy. They just don't. They don't think, and who knows what their plans are as far as that trip goes. So anyway, I was interested in going. I even told my wife, like, hey, do you mind if I throw my name in this hat? If they're going to pay for me, I'm willing to go down there, because I still stand by my word. And I'm putting this out there because I do want somebody to correct me if I'm wrong. If you're in Antarctica, in the flat Earth, there's no reason that I can think of or see or rhyme or figure out a way that the sun would go behind you. If you actually are watching the sun, it should come from your right, go across the horizon, go to your left, and it should either set or go further away or whatever. But what it can't do on a flat Earth is go behind you. So that's why it was, to me, I was like, this is a good experiment in the fact that if I went down there, watch the sun go right to left, and then, I've got to turn around and watch the sun go behind me, that doesn't make any sense on a flat Earth. So I thought it was a good experiment. But then again, I'm not going down there with people lying about this trip, especially when the person, like you said, Dave, he's got some sort of financial issue or whatever. I don't even know. Like I said last night, maybe most financial advisors have 8 complaints against them, and so 3 isn't that bad. I don't really know what the ratio would be there. But regardless, this guy's claiming he's going to pay me $45,000 basically in cash for a trip. So I don't want to be involved with somebody who's got some financial issues going on or whatever that might be. It's just weird. It's just all weird. And then, like you said, he's a pastor. You know what church I think he took over for? You know who Bob Enyart is? Anybody know who Bob is?
Name.
No.
I heard the name.
So I remember the only time you might have heard me talk about him is he was a radio show host in Denver, big Christian. He had I don't know, he was talking to Jack Joyner, Jack Horner, I think his name is, the guy who was the expert on Jurassic Park. And he would always talk to him about the dinosaur bones, and he would always try and get them carbon dated. And anyway, that Bob Enyart's the guy who died right around the same time as Bob Nodell. And he passed away, and then I think he took over for him, if I remember correctly. So anyway, I don't know how many people are at that church. The church looks pretty run down and I don't know, doesn't look like the best church, but that's not saying anything. A church can be whatever, it could be your house. But they shouldn't have been deceptive from the start. The idea of I'm going to come out with this channel. Oh, so one more thing. The channel, the final experiment, was purchased on 12/28/23. So that's a month before he came on my show to debate Austin. So again, he shows up on my show acting like he's some newbie to this, and he's just getting, I just want to talk to you about it. Well, no, he already had this website purchased, the final experiment. So it seems like there was this setup. Dave, I don't know if you heard my thought that maybe they were trying to set you up, because because I mean he made 3 shitty ass videos about flat Earth, and then Dave, because Dave does this, he reaches out to him and says, hey, let's have a chat. Your videos are terrible. So then he says, okay, let's have a chat. Well, then Dave's on vacation, and Dave says to me in Austin, hey, why don't you guys do it since I'm on vacation? So we do it, and he just is acting like he's new to this. Well, Toon was definitely there during that interview. He was just on his screen. We couldn't see him. So again, that's deceptive. They knew each other before that. They've already admitted that now. So I mean, that whole thing just is to pretend like you're just some nobody, but you're being coached by one of the Globers in the back. It's just dirtbag. Just be honest. Just be honest. Just be who you honestly are and come on our show and say, hey, guys, I'm new to this, but you know what I want to do? I actually purchased a website, The Final Experiment, because I'm actually thinking of coming up with an experiment. I mean, just be honest. Just say it from the start.
Don't you guys feel bad when you lie, right? Like when you were younger, you would lie and you'd get away with something, but then you're laying there in bed and like, man, I shouldn't have done that. You know, that little
I never
voice.
lied.
They've never lied. Well, for all of us people who can't walk on water,
Mortals,
you know?
yes.
Yeah, it made me feel horrible to lie. It doesn't feel good. You know that it's not right. I don't understand how these people can just constantly do it over and over again, especially as an adult. And
yeah, you're gonna have like kickback. Like if I did that and I would know like, oh shoot, what's coming up when I reveal that I'm in charge of this channel is that no Glober will believe me. Like you would know that going into it. These guys are acting like they're shocked. Like what's wrong? Like is there a problem? It's like, yeah, what do you mean? You've been deceptive this whole time. And then so Toon said to me when I said to him, why would you lie to me on my own show? When I asked you if you knew who the person was behind the experiment, why would you say no? He says, well, because I was told that in confidence. Okay, I said, listen, Toon, that is the problem with the entire world. I said, you guys act like there's no way these guys would lie about space when you just lied about who's in charge of a channel for no money. You just lied to my face for no money because you were told in confidence. Now pretend somebody gave you $1 million and told you to lie about space. Now would you lie? Do you see how easy it is for people to lie for nothing? And you guys act like, how these people would lie for money? Never. You lied for zero. So to me, it like is so obvious that it would be very easy to get all these people involved in these missions or whatever to lie. Because again, people will lie for literally $0. So will they lie for 10? Sure. 50, 500, 5,000, 5 million. Don't start thinking about what you would do for 5 million because basically it's going to be a list of many, many things. Anyway, you gonna show that video, Austin?
Yeah, but real fast. He sent me this. Hey, Austin, Dave won't go to Antarctica, and neither will Jeran. You are up next on the list. Are you willing to go or no? Let me know either way so I can move on down the list if you don't want to go. Thanks, Will. And here you go. Here, just so everyone sees like what's going on here. It's just it's just such a joke. Hey guys, we ran a poll on our YouTube channels, and unsurprisingly, people overwhelmingly want one of you three to go to Antarctica. Dave won 41%. Austin and Jeran stayed neck to neck the entire way. Honest Fish and Austin finished 23%, which means I was actually neck on the list. Why did you lie about that? It's petty, but like I'm just saying, I told Kai like I'm really good at reading people. Like I know he is kind of a psychopath, so. He was actually thinking about his body language and facial expression and how to maintain the illusion that he wasn't lying when he was talking to Sean. This whole, like, it was a surprise thing. Like, no, Kai knows. Like, I sound crazy to most people when I say this. I can read people very, very, very well. I watched his thought process. He was consciously and intently trying to maintain a certain composure as if to be deceptive. So
100%.
That means he has experience doing that.
Yeah, and he's preaching about it and saying that he's like, there's a difference between lying and being deceptive. Deceptive requires thinking about it ahead of time. He's like, and that's exactly what that took, because you're going to bring it up and be like, hey, did you know that you were invited? So he's already thinking about this ahead of time. It's not like it was sprung on him. It's not like Sean out of nowhere says, hey, you know that channel, The Final Experiment? You know anything about that? At that point, if he said like, oh, no, I don't know anything, that I could see what he's saying. Okay, maybe you kind of lied a little bit there because you were caught off guard. But that's not the situation at all. And then go ahead.
Sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and then he said at one point, I didn't tell anybody about this being my channel. I didn't tell anybody, not even my own family. And then he's like, but then when I did that lie on Sean's channel, my dad called me and said, oh, that wasn't good. So then his dad didn't know. He's like, I didn't tell anybody, including my family. But then my dad called me and it's like, that wasn't good that you lied to Sean. I mean, it's just like, come on.
Lying again, yeah, it's crazy. That's what liars do, though. Here he is saying, yeah. P.S. We started a poll this morning for which person people want on the Globe side to go to Antarctica. You'll notice FTFE and McToon are not on the poll and might wonder why. They have both stated publicly they cannot go. You're trying to kill me, bro. I'm not going. Hey, what's up, bro? What were you saying?
Well, I was saying, too, I was like, at least Austin and I both talked to each other, and I said, I'd never go by myself. He's like, yeah, me neither. I'm like, okay, well, they're trying to give away a trip to one person, which seems weird. So then I went to, what's his name? Now I'm going to call him McDuffie from now on, to Duffy and said, look, it needs to be two people. It can't be one. I said, it's ridiculous that you would think with what we're going to look at that I said they could just easily say, "Oh, Jeran had a heart attack," and that's it. Who's going to investigate that? I said, at least if two of us go, now you got to say we both had a heart attack, which seems a little bit weird. Where'd Jeran and Austin go?
Or fell into a crevasse.
They both went down there and had a heart attack. So it just makes it a little bit more difficult. But no, I mean, at this point, they both said they can't go. Okay. So and who would it end up being? It's like, it's going to end up being Dave McKeegan. So like we would go by ourselves. Can you imagine Austin going and staying in a tent with Dave McKeegan?
3 days. No way. First I thought it was FTFE. I'm like, this is just all, this has gotten so gay so fast. Yeah, we can watch this video. It'll catch you up. Dave, what's up?
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay.
I can keep helping him with leg braces on, to be honest.
It's just all so wild because this is what they're really doing. The whole point was, I said in the email to him, I said, you'll notice that you've not heard any globers say it would prove the Earth's on a globe, have you? And I'm like, and then FTFE did, but it was clearly because he's showing FTFE my emails and stuff. And so now for the first time ever, FTFE doesn't hesitate and admits it would prove the Earth's on a globe, right? But they've never said it publicly before that.
Let me ask you a question. So say we're watching the sun in Antarctica, the real sun, and it's cruising across and it's kind of, bending around a little bit, but it's going to be Antarctic away in the Antarctic. And it goes behind some thick clouds like the other Antarctic videos that we've seen. Right. And then a little while later, whether it's an hour or less or more, it comes out right where you would expect it to come out and wraps around that other third of the sky that wouldn't work on a flat Earth model. You don't think that it's possible that they can project something in the sky that looks like a sun, because there is 24 hours of daylight because of the coffee cup caustic. And, just on the other side of those mountains that would be blocking that lower sky, they could be using something simple to project a fake sun up there. You can't put that past them.
Didn't China claim to have a fake sun not that many years ago? I'll try to find it.
They put one up, but here's the thing. They don't need the fake sun to light up the whole sky, because the real sun does that in January as it wraps around what we...
I just think it would take a lot of work. I think it would take a lot of work.
You don't think that this lie is worth a lot of work? They have fake space agencies. They have so much stuff. This is nothing. This is a David Blaine trick.
But they don't... No, I mean, you're making it seem like it'd be easier than it would be. I mean, to actually... Because the sun would have to be setting. So you'd have to throw up clouds. And then if there's clouds, nobody's going to take that as proof.
You don't think they could make clouds?
No. Listen.
No, they'll take it as Jeran. He's making a good point. They would take it as proof if it comes back around, even if it just goes behind the clouds, but then it comes back behind you, right?
Yeah.
They would still take that as proof.
It comes out going behind you.
They would take that as proof.
Jeran's also right that it's going to be tough to pull out to pull that off, on discerning eyes. But
yeah. That's all I'm saying is if we had cameras, if we went down there, let's say it's just Austin and I, we would go down there with so many cameras that there would be a camera on the sun at all times. Him and I would sleep in shifts to where one of us was watching the sun at all times. And I just think that I would be able to notice that. Now, I could be wrong. Like you said, it could be real. But if the sun's going behind us, the fake sun, it has to be timed perfectly to come back around at the exact time that the real sun is rising again. So
that's true. And you'd have to put clouds in between both points. And if you use solar filters, like what would a simulated sun look like under a solar filter? And what if you use infrared at the same time? Right.
I just be difficult. I think, and in fact, here's the thing that we don't do enough. I want to push the envelope. I want to make them have to do that. If we just say they could do that and we stand back, well, then they win every time. If we force them, go ahead, go down there and make them do it live. Make them do it in front of our faces when we're down there. Now, again, if it was not for these liars, I would be considering it further. I'm not considering it because, like Witsit said, that plane's going to have a bad engine, I think.
Oh, yeah, but I agree. I'm the same way as Jeran. I'm like, yo, show me. It's like a bunch of flat earthers are like really worried about me. They're coming from like a good place. I'm like, we're just not built the same, I don't think. Like, I'm like, I want to see it. I want to see it myself. I want to see it. Like, to me, it's like a step towards something actual, making something actual happen. And, the idea in itself. And so I'm like, I'm all for it. If they're going to try to fake it, show me. I'm going to see that the sun's setting. And let's see what they can pull off, right? Because what if I can see through the clouds with my infrared, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, and then we see the sun go down.
The other thing is how are you going to charge all your batteries there? It's the highest it gets is like 32 degrees, they say. It's going to be, between 10 and 32 if you're lucky. And batteries don't do so well. You'd have to bring like a whole ton of batteries and a place to keep them warm, and it's going to be very, very difficult to get continuous footage.
But the thing is, if you're given a bunch of money to do that, you would be able to do it, right? I mean, if it's like money's not an issue, then you would have plenty of batteries to last the entire time, and you would have a heated, compressed, with those little like hand warmers that you warm up that you could keep in there with the batteries. I don't know, whatever it is, I'm not worried about it right now. But Austin, wouldn't you agree that if you were to go down there and see, like you said, with a solar filter or infrared, that it would at least put pressure on them to the point where it's not as easy as I think people make it sound like, oh, it's just a fake sun. It's like, okay, yeah, but you're putting them on the spot. They've got to do it live. It's just like space travel. Dave, like you said. I agree with space travel being, they fake it. Okay, great. But what they don't do is they don't do it live. Like they don't actually have spacewalks live. Those are all pre-recorded, right? So it's like, if they were actually live, that would be a little bit more difficult, at least in my opinion. I think that doing things live is harder. But again,
I agree with you. On that. I think we're a lot alike in those ways, though, right? So, I'm much more of like a let's do it kind of guy. I don't really fear death per se. I mean, I have a daughter. It makes things different, but I don't know. Like, it just, to me, this is also sketchy. So, the point I was making earlier is that when they're saying like, I made the point like because you're trying to act like somehow we're trying to get out of it in the emails. I could tell it was like probably a Glober and anti-flat earther actually, but I'm like, how many Globers have you had said admitted that it would prove that the Earth's not a globe if you saw this, if you didn't see the 24-hour sun? He's like, yeah, good point. I haven't been able to find anyone say that. I'm like, yeah, because you guys are liars. And
if
like,
the sun sets, and there's no excuse. I mean, that's why. This is what I was going to ask you.
But they can't say that out loud, though.
No, but Austin, wouldn't you say that the chances that we went down there and saw the sun set would be zero? Like,
no, I also thought about that too. Like, I told Kai that I'm like, think they would let us go and just actually see the sunset.
So I'm like, that's the thing. We're putting our stuff on the line when we can't even be vindicated. Like, there's no way we're going to go down there, see the sunset, and come back and be like, guess what? The sun sets in Antarctica. That would be the end of the globe. So they just couldn't let that happen. The trip would get canceled. There'd be clouds. Again, we'd be forcing them to do something like that, which is why I think it's important to do that. But at the same time, the chances that you just go down there and they let you expose this, it would be the biggest day in the history of the world. That's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, I agree. They make it really cloudy, or obviously before December 14th came around, those people that are there would have word of who was coming. And yeah, it's all very sketchy. Right. But like, so think about it. They'll never admit it, and it's because they're the ones that are liars. They constantly project the fact that they're like degenerate liars onto us because they act because we're not and they are, right? But I was making that point kind of in the email, and then I was pointing out that like, well, now what I'm pointing out at least is, to me, they never had the intention to go anyway. And this is all they're like gamma mels. You have to put yourself in the mindset of like a really weird, lame, dishonest gamma mel. Like, I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm just being honest. If you think about it, if you try to think about it from that perspective, it all makes sense. They don't plan on going there. They're actually scared of the idea of going and testing their belief. They just want to believe it on the internet, never leave their house, right? Like, what it really is so they can say, see, flat earthers are con men. They don't really believe in it. They're not going to go down there. And that's the only reason that you would have this scoreboard thing. And he's even being dishonest about the scoreboard thing, right? Because like, where'd you get the 2? Didn't they add 1 when FTFE supposedly did it? And now he's saying he can't go, but now they're still up 2-0. And now he's changing the rules to like, if you interview me. So the whole thing is just to get one side have supposedly a high number, the other side not have a high number, to show like, see, the Globers are the ones that aren't scared of the truth, and the flat earthers, they're the ones that are actually scared to go test. That's all this is. That's all it is. Because if you look at all of their psychopathic, atheist, weirdo, anonymous fanboys, that's what they're all spamming in all my chats and everywhere I go already, and you. Right? Is that you're scared?
Quick correction so they don't make a video about it. At the beginning, when he talked about the scoreboard, he said there's 3 ways to get on the scoreboard. One of them is interview him, make a video or something like that. So that they did score 2 points according to the original rules. He didn't change the rules.
Okay. Well, I haven't watched any of them, to be honest. So
good. I'm just saying I could see they're listening to this right now and they're looking for something that we got wrong. let's just keep it. Let's not accuse
Yeah,
them
yeah,
of
of course,
anything
of
they
course.
haven't done, because they've done plenty.
But do you see my
Imagine
point
if-
though? My point is that it's not. They don't have tensions to go. Have you seen McToon? You think he's about to go to Antarctica? Of course he wasn't. I told Kai immediately. That dude's never going to Antarctica. Neither is this Duffy dude.
Fit enough.
No, this
to go
Duffy
to
dude's too
Antarctica.
not going to Antarctica either. Like, they just want to make the scoreboard look a certain way so they can say flat earthers are con men and they don't actually believe it and they're not going to go and blah 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 blah.
So maybe part of their plan was to lie, and then they're like, when they come out with the lie, then they'll back out for that reason, and we'll not give them a point because they won't go. But it's like, so imagine that they're allowed to lie to us, and if we say now we don't want to go to Antarctica on your dollar, then it's our bad for not wanting to be mingled with liars. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, this is
All right,
who we're
let's watch
dealing with right here. Yeah, let's watch this. Isn't it crazy though? Okay,
I've never seen Austin do that on his show yet. I can't wait to. Austin.
It's going crazy, bro.
public.
All right, let's watch this video. You guys can
have
see
your
it, right?
children leave the room now. It'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
Earmuffs.
All right, you guys can see and hear it. You heard that?
This video is a public apology to Sean Griffin. I was on his program being interviewed by him, and
he completely caught me off guard.
And I wasn't expecting this, but he asked me during that interview if I knew who was behind the final experiment.
By the way, I don't want to forget something. You just mentioned you liked science growing up. I noticed you got an invitation to participate in that thing called the final experiment. Are you following that at all?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I looked at it and I didn't know what it was. So
I put it right out of my mind. He completely caught me off guard.
Yeah, it's super intriguing. They haven't announced exactly what it is, but there's another video they're releasing this Sunday. But you're one of the official invitees, so congratulations on that.
I don't know what that means. So, okay. I guess I should say thank you, but I don't know. Are you a part of that?
I do not know who's behind it, so I'm watching and excited to see what happens.
Told him.
Real fast, I gotta point out. You see this guy's face, bro? You can tell me this guy's not a crazy person, bro. Like, watch how he acts.
Laugh.
Yeah, and then like
that, and then he like has to shape up. He has to like erase the laugh off his
yeah,
face.
and he's reading McToon this whole time. We find that out later, right? Like, he's just reading every time he looks to the right, he's looking at the screen that McToon's talking to him on. Literally. Yep. This is such a weird psychopathic thing that it gives me such bad vibes. It's crazy.
They haven't announced exactly what it is, but there's another video they're releasing this Sunday. But you're one of the official invitees, so congratulations on that.
I don't know what that means. So, okay. I guess I should say thank you, but I don't know. Are you a part of that?
I do not know who's behind it, so I'm watching and excited to see what happens.
Told him in the moment that I did not know who was behind the final experiment, which of course was not true.
Yeah, the premiere on YouTube for Sunday says they're going to be revealing the location of the experiment.
Is it an experiment pertaining to, cosmology or something?
Yeah, it's an experiment for flat versus globe.
Okay. Well, I won't be there. I'm sorry to disappoint whoever invited me, but thank you for shouting me out.
For sure.
Yeah. Austin debates people all the time, but I don't know who you.
He won't debate my buddy. I'll tell you that.
Is your buddy a good faith?
Oh, definitely.
He's honest.
He's a believer. Yeah. He goes by the name MC Toon on YouTube.
Bro.
Okay. Yeah, we all know who McToon is.
He's very sharp.
Yeah. Okay.
He's actually going to be debating one of your listeners tonight at my church on Saturday in 2 days.
So this makes much more sense. Okay. I've seen McToon, and you think that's good faith? You think that's honest, intellectually honest? That's.
I will tell you.
That's between you and God.
I will tell you, flat earthers tell me all the time that he lies, but they've never shown one lie. So I'm still waiting for that first lie.
I have receipts for all of it. This dude talked about my wife, talked about my daughter, lied about it. I proved he did. He swore up and down he wouldn't jump in a debate when he moderated. And then he jumped in their opener, debated against me the whole time, muted me like 30 times unfairly in the middle of my points, wouldn't let the other guy answer after he 5 times reassured me and promised me he wouldn't do it. Then for 3 months, he told everyone I was lying, and he never muted me the entire debate because he didn't think I could prove it. Then I found a way to prove it, showed it, and he was like, oh yeah, well, whatever. That's my channel. I moderate how I want to. After for 3 months denying that he was muting me, that's called lying. Okay. He then took a screen. There was a conversation going on in Discord, and someone said, like, I was like, I don't know why you guys act like I work for you or something. And then as I started to say I don't in that context of me saying that, someone said, like, do you even work at all? And so the I don't came right below their message. He cut that out of the context to make it look like I said I don't work. Then he's so he's just literally posted that all over the place to lie and act like I don't work. Then he's running around talking about, and he makes his wife go out and work and all this stuff. So it's like, he's literally a degenerate psychopath liar. Okay. So I have all the receipts for it. I don't know what this guy's talking about, but anyway.
All the time that he lies, but they've never shown one lie. So I'm still waiting for that first lie.
Prediction gets more and more accurate the closer it gets to the time of the eclipse. So actually, if you paid attention, they changed the path, or the locations of the path of the eclipse like 3 or 4 times in the weeks leading up to the eclipse, even in like the mainstream perfect model and all this stuff, right? Because it isn't about the model, it's about the sun and moon. They have a cycle that there's a
What an absolute bastard liar. You pathetic, worthless, idiot, lying sack of garbage. This didn't change. This book didn't change in the weeks leading up to the eclipse, you worthless piece of garbage. God damn, you such a bastard. Piece of crap. Just lying so much. This didn't change, you jerk. Piece of filth. He just blatantly lies. Austin, you suck. You're a filthy, lying piece of manure. Just look at that lying face there. Just hair coming out of the manure. Just vomiting your lies all day long. You know it's a lie too. You know. You just do it.
An eclipse cycle that we can narrow down over the course of thousands of years. And so, yeah, all of that can, like, exactly when the eclipse will be, all of that is exactly the same, regardless of if you think the Earth's a globe or flat, or if you think it's moving or it's not moving. Use a specific observational pieces of data that aren't.
He just lied right there. He said, no, it's not. Literally, it's about the periodicity of the moon, the ascension of the moon, the amount of time it takes to go through its annual cycle. It's literally what it's about. He said, no, it's not. So he intentionally lies all the time.
Exclusive to either one of them. So it's a misnomer. Everyone can go to adl.place and you can see all mapped out and predicted.
You bastard.
It doesn't matter if it came from a flat Earth civilization.
All they did was identify patterns. They were
a whole 100 feet off
of each other. That's it.
I did not realize that that was your friend. That is hilarious. Seen him in action, brother, and he is. I'll leave it. That was fine. Okay. Is McToon a Christian? He believes the Bible is the inspired word of God?
Absolutely.
I love the name. Adrenochrome Slurper is sitting here slurping adrenochrome smoothie. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Cheers, wow. MC Toon, and congrats on 10,000 sheeple.
Wow. Yeah. Got no reason. One hell of a herder.
Okay. Interesting.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
It matters because the world is telling you they don't exist. They're not coming back. There is no firmament. That the only salvation is that we have to go colonate Mars, and we're gonna, unless we die a supernova heat death in 200,000 years from the sun, we have to find ways out of this solar system, out of this creation that you think is inspired and created by God for man. I'm just trying to say the philosophy of the heliocentric model and everything that's underneath it and everything it concludes disagrees with your faith in the scriptures of God.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. I'm just putting the claim out there. You can test it over time.
Sure.
There's no such thing as being just stationary or moving, because everything is moving and everything is stationary. It just depends on what your frame of reference is. Am I right?
Yeah, it's all relative. It's all relative, okay?
So yeah, sorry, I had to interrupt a couple
At least
things.
McToon didn't swear, right?
He said GD, but yeah.
He said GD.
Oh, he did. All right. So I figured he didn't swear because he can't do 20 push-ups.
Yeah, but how crazy, like, I mean, dude, and like I didn't lie about anything, obviously. They say it's a well-known thing, you go time and date. I was making a video too with all the info. You can go to time and date, it'll tell you like, yeah, I mean, normally I don't even make predictions as the real path of totality in the time until it gets within a few weeks of the eclipse, because we get more accurate measurements as to the ascension and different aspects of the moon and the periodicity of the orbit of the moon. So yeah, that like admittedly, like it gets more and more accurate the closer it gets, and they normally hold off until it gets closer to the eclipse to make the real specific predictions, which is what I said. I said that it gets more and more accurate closer.
Do one search on Google, just put, did the eclipse path change days before? And then you get a couple articles talking about it changing.
I have a screenshot of 30 articles, right? I mean, like basically every city within there had their own articles talking about it. And then they say that they also said that another part of it was that they think they were wrong about the size of the sun. That the size of the sun is a little bigger than they thought, that the angular size is a little bigger than they thought it was.
These guys are just out of their minds. So Craig messages me and says right now, he's like, I don't understand. He didn't lie. He said he was caught off guard by the question of who was behind it. I said, he wasn't caught off guard. He brought it up. He was the one who said, did you know of this channel? You're one of the people selected, blah, blah, blah. So then Sean asked him, do you have something to do with it? And he says he doesn't. That's not caught off guard. He goes, yeah, he was caught off guard by the question of who it was. He didn't know what to say. That's the way it comes across to me. He's just trying to build hype. I'm like, dude, you guys are so deceptive. He's like, so my son asked me for some PC upgrades. I told him no, then I got him for him. He was surprised. Is that wrong? Like now we're going to discuss that thing. Give me a break, dude. These guys are out of their minds. They're out of their minds. It's just insane. No, the deceptive part is having Toon sit on your right shoulder here and feed you answers to all these questions. You could just tell too the things he was saying were fed directly from Toon. You almost like look to the right, sees the screen, then he goes, there's never been flat water measured ever. Like what? But then if you ask him something simple, like Sean asked him, well, do you know about the petrified wood being the moon rock? And he's like, no, I've never heard of that. Well, yeah, these are signs that you're reading things from somebody else. Like you can't get into this line of research and not know about that moon rock from the Dutch, but know about, I mean, it's just like you're just reading off of paper.
FTFE does the same thing too. Let's call it out. So FTFE reads McToon the whole time. This is what McToon does. If he's not paid to do this, he's like actually mentally unstable. He does it all the time. He sits there and he messages people live as quick as he can. He has all his stuff pulled up and he sends it to them. FTFE's reading McToon every debate. I don't care. No, shocker. Yep. FTFE's not going to admit it. But this is why whenever they debate me, it doesn't work, because McToon can't debate me about relativity. And FTFE can't debate me about relativity. So him reading McToon's chats aren't going to save him, right? Because you actually have to be smart to have the conversation live about the specifics of relativity and how it applies to what we're talking about. They don't do that.
Neither one of them can. Their whole thing is that Austin can't be smarter than scientists. Scientists believe in relativity, so Austin therefore must be wrong about it. That's the extent of their knowledge. They don't have anything beyond that. They're just like, well, and they'll both admit they don't have a clue about it. Well, I don't study it. I don't know anything about it. But then you're like, well, you were mistaken about it. Like, no, I wasn't mistaken. You just got done saying that you don't have any clue about relativity, that you haven't studied it at all. Then somebody tells you you're mistaken about it. And you're like, no, I'm not mistaken about it. Not mistaken about it. You just said you haven't never studied it. And it's just funny. My favorite thing, though, is when I was walking with my wife this morning. We're listening to you talk and somebody says word salad. And like even Miss is like, what, how do they say that? Like even my wife understands what you're saying. Like I don't understand how you could be like so inept that you have to hear Austin talking and go like, oh, that's word salad. It's like, did you not listen? Like, do you tune out after the first two words or what? Because he's making sense. He's saying things I've heard him say 100 times. It's not word salad. Just baffling to me. These guys will go to any reaches to save their little fantasy space religion.
Yeah, and since when did it become socially acceptable to so vocally and arrogantly announce like your inept vocabulary skills? Like, how weird is that? It's like I don't know basic vocabulary words. It's like ha ha ha. It's like so weird, but nah. I just like this is why I don't debate them.
Yeah, I'm just saying, word salad is so easy to spot when you see it because they're just words get put together that don't even belong together. That's what word salad is. When you're like, what? You're just saying words, which is literally not at all what Austin is doing. He's making a point. It's been the same point he's made for the last year, 2 years, 3 years. It's not word salad when it's a point. Pay attention to what is being said. These guys they'll swear up and down till the day that they die that the ether is all that the Michelson-Morley removed. It just removed the ether and everything else works fine. It's fine now. Because that's
so stupid. Because you saw the debate that I did on your channel, right? I'm like asking him these basic questions to prove that isn't true, and he doesn't even realize that he just conceded. And I'm like, okay, I guess maybe watch Robot Publisher's video. I'm sure we'll put it together so you'll see that you're blatantly contradicting yourself and double speaking and conceding. So it's like, that's the real tea here, right? Is they're actually not that smart. Like, I'm not trying to be ugly or anything. It just is what it is. Like, they're not. Yeah. They're not smart. So I hate to break to them.
They're decent smart probably if you gave them some sort of a test. Like if you gave FTFE a physics test that is on the current physics and everything with the math, he'd probably get a pretty good grade. But if it's anything outside of that, they're gone. Then they can't even,
Yeah, but even with the stuff that they're so happy about, like math, like to me, it was like I was really good at math or whatever, and I would get my test done real quick, and I would go like help people with their algebra. I would like find a way to make it where they can understand it so we could get done with our work earlier or whatever. And like I thought it was lame. And there were a few other people that were really good at math too. They never went around and bragged about how good they were at math. That's such a weird thing. So the people that brag about how they can do math and try to make fun of other people not knowing how to do certain math is because they're actually not good at math. So they equate intellect with the ability to get the final solution. They're so proud of themselves they got the answer right. And that's actually a sign of not being good at math or, whatever. So it's all very ironic. And I don't even care to do all the psychoanalysis. Obviously, these people, this is what's so funny. Someone should let these people know that people tell me that those are the two main reasons that they looked into flat Earth. FTFE, McToon, and Professor Dave. You are the trifecta that creates more flat Earthers than we do. My wife included.
Yeah, and I've said that's why I have them on my channel, although I've now given that up. I'm not going to do it anymore because I'm just not going to let liars come on and spout lies. It just doesn't make any sense to me anymore. So
anyway, I mean, isn't it also crazy though? Because like, look, I'll show you this too, right? I mean, we're talking about now. The globe is the globe deception is actually so beautiful, right? Because, dude, it pulls back all the curtains. It exposes people, right? This is another preacher right here, okay? And then you can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
So this is another preacher. There's no videos in space of stars. You know why? Because it'd be way too hard to fake that, because the constellations moving in relation to their path, we'd be able to catch them faking it. Show me them out in space with the video of stars, but we'll look at it and see if it lines up with where they claim they are. It doesn't exist though. Like none. So that looks like a real gotcha, right? Like, there are no videos of in space of stars. It's like he's showing them. It's like, what, such a real gotcha. And I put, like, I specifically explained in the debate that I was talking about videos out in space beyond low Earth orbit. Why would you have to leave that part out, then show a video that's allegedly from within low Earth orbit? That means you're lying. Like, and you're claiming to be a preacher. Now, I want to show this real fast. Look really close at the stars right here where my mouse is. Let me go big screen. I'm making a video about this, but look really close. Let me pull these off real fast. Okay, if you see these stars, they're going to start. Can you see my mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the stars are going to start going down towards the Earth, right? So watch them really closely. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's so funny. And all of them, right? So just watch the stars. This is a better angle over here. This is doing it too. You see, like right there, the star is through the Earth. The stars go through the Earth. It's a layer. It's literally layered. Watch, but you can see I'm really good on this next one. The stars are you see that? Like if you look at this star here, this star is through the Earth right here.
And we're seeing it secondhand, so I'm sure you're seeing it better than we are.
Yeah. I'm making a video and zooming in and everything. The stars go through the Earth. Here you can see them. If you look in the bottom left, you'll see that some of these stars just go down into what's supposedly the globe Earth blocking the stars. Someone want to enlighten me how that works? Why is that star in the Earth? Okay, so anyway, so that's funny because I've seen these, and there's another one. That one's really bright. If you look at this one right here, it's pretty bright. And it's going to go down into the Earth.
Like, see, would that be to fake anyway? It's just a layer. You just put the Earth layer on there, then you put the craft layer on there, then you put the star trails on there. Oh, wow.
See, the part that's what I'm saying. It's like it shows again. It's always a combination of like deception, and they think that ends justify the means, so they can lie as long as it's against the flat earther, and them not understanding things. Right? It's like this weird combination of like ignorance, arrogance, and dishonesty. And so, like, if you understood the context of what I was saying, like, if you're inside the alleged low Earth orbit, of course you can fake that, right? Because you have sidereal rotation of the stars. You're still, like, in the Earth's little, like, relative reference frame where you're going to see the star spinning. When you get out away from the Earth, outside the Earth's orbit in this fairy tale, right, you're going to start moving in a different relation to the sky. So if you're telling me that you're going out there past Jupiter, you're going out there far enough around the moon to where your angle is going to change as you're traveling and as the stars are moving, that's going to be hard to fake. Okay, it's not hard to fake what we see happen all the time around the Earth. That's not hard. What's hard is going out into space in a different coordinate system, right? And then showing us this constellation. So that was I specifically explained that. I explained out past low Earth orbit, and I said that specifically because I have seen these videos. These are the only things that they have. And first of all, this is easily debunked, but the fact that stars are going through the Earth. They're going through the Earth. So anyway, and I was just bringing that up to point out that like this is a lie. This is a preacher. This is a lie. So I think that part's what's so crazy is that even if you're a preacher, right, when it comes to globe Earth, they just see red. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't help it.
Like I'm like, you do understand that just because we have different beliefs, or you think you have a belief and my belief is wrong, doesn't mean you can treat us like less than human. These guys really feel that way. They feel like, oh, these are children. We can fool them, we can trick them, we can lie about them, because in the end, the globe is true. And so if we have to tell a few lies to get there, oh well, I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to the truth. And it's just, it's disgusting. Disgusting.
You will never, ever have to lie to share truth.
No,
it's amazing how much projection Globers do. You're lying, they're lying. You know, everything they accuse us of is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, like, their excuse to me is always like, well, Dave lied about this. And I said, okay, so one time Dave got something wrong, and then I told Dave, and then Dave doesn't use it in his presentation anymore. That's not lying. Like, what are you talking about? That is somebody who thought, and I think it was, you were showing like a picture that you said was Mars, and next to it was Greenland, or remember that? And it was okay. And you took it out of your presentation. So,
I took it out, and I actually went and looked for other pictures, and I went to Antarctica on Google Earth, not Antarctica, Devon Island, and I took some screenshots of there, and I threw them in Google image search, and it came up with Mars.
Oh, right. I remember that.
It came up with Mars. So he actually, again, by making that video, how he's going to go after me, made me do a little more research and came up with far better fakery evidence than that one meme that I had. So right. it was really good, really good for that.
Of course, that was a Glober that did that. They're like, watch, I'm going to there's actually a video of a Glober saying, like, look, I'm going to show how easy it is to trick flat earthers, and then they made that fake picture. But you know what's crazy, bro, is like, I made a whole post. This actually did good on X too. I just typed out a post explaining how this is so weird, and I got 130,000 views or whatever. But I was like, or impressions, right? I'm like, do you know the difference? You know the crazy part about all this is like, we think we discovered a major lie, and we want to help people out. We think it's good for society. We think that we're being misled on a massive scale. And it shows how beautiful this place is, how special it is, thus how special you are, right? And the people have the right to know the truth, and children are being lied to and misled into nihilism and all this stuff. And we actually believe that and have that intention. Like, put on pause whether or not you think we're right or wrong, or you disagree with us. Doesn't matter. Like, that's what we think. That's why we do this. We get attacked, we get ostracized, we put like our lives on the line, and some could argue, but we like put our livelihood on the line, right? For sure, when it comes to like any professional capacity. We do all that. Why do we do that? We do that because like we genuinely think that there's this massive lie going on. What are they doing? They think they're defending the official story in every scenario from the government pertaining to the Earth and space, and they're just trying to mock, ridicule, and embarrass another group of people that don't believe in that stuff. So they're sadists.
Jeran makes a great point. Like, hey, we're trying to get to the truth. Let's audit NASA. And why don't the Globers go, yeah, let's audit them. Let's get the truth. But they can't do that. They can't. There was on Flat Earth Fridays, there's this guy, Keon, this I'm not sure what country he's from, but he's a Glober, super nice, super lost. But he doesn't believe. He thinks that NASA is fake, but he still believes in the globe. And he's like, we should audit NASA. You're right. So somebody that's honest, Glober, they'll be like, yeah, we should audit NASA and get the truth because in their world they're hiding truth about the globe. But any dishonest Glober, that's almost redundant. They'll just defend NASA till the cows come home.
And I've been saying that about Odd and NASA the whole time. I've been just trying to sell it. Like, you guys should look at it like, okay, what if we put pressure on NASA? What's going to happen? We're going to get better videos. We're going to get more transparency. We're going to get to prove the flat earthers wrong more so. Wouldn't you be all for that? Like, why and why would you not just be pro holding the government accountable, getting better stuff? Why would we not all be in agreement they shouldn't be legally allowed to turn off their comment sections, right? Like, we think we're going to find them faking it. You think you're going to find them proving that what they're doing is legit.
Right? Like if somebody went out and were speaking out against some government agency or something, I can't imagine me being like, I'm going to go protect that government agency. Why wouldn't I join the ones calling them out and be like, okay, show us so that they can either be proven wrong or right? Like that's how Glober should look at it. It's like these guys say space is fake. If they're right, it means all of humanity is being tricked. We should expose that. And if they're wrong, then they should find out that they're wrong and we should expose that. Rather than be like, now we're going to be protectors of the government agency and we're just going to say everything they're doing is right and you guys are dumb. It's like, how is that protecting humanity at all?
It's like pro bono defense attorneys for NASA. But like,
they don't do anything. They turned off their comments now. There's not even comments on NASA.
That's illegal. That's illegal too. You know what's crazy is like, this is why I think it is. I think that they know they have a deep-rooted fear that NASA is lying. And the way I know that's the case is you're like, have you looked into all those videos of NASA faking it? And they're like, no, I've never seen them. Like, I heard that those are all just flat earthers with pareidolia. And so you haven't even looked at it. So like you're scared of seeing it, right? And it's the same thing with how no globe will say out loud, like, yeah, if there's not a 24-hour sun, then it can't be a globe. They're terrified of it. That's why they still say sunsets are impossible on a flat earth. Because if they can't create a caricature of flat earth that's so stupid and easily disproven that the sun itself, when it sets, does it, then they have to actually look into the evidence to be honest, and that terrifies them.
Tears them. I saw it happen with my sister when I gave her a Schmandy Schmook video, and halfway through it, she called me and she goes, you know what? I know exactly where this is going. I can see where it's going. And she's like, and I'm afraid of what that will mean. So I'm not going to watch this anymore. Flat out told me that. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I can see that there's enough evidence here that I know what the final result's going to be. And then it calls into question everything else I know in the world. And I just can't allow that to happen. I'm like, wow, thanks for being honest. Like, I think that's how most people feel. Most people know that if NASA is fake, then they've been lied to about, they would have to open up their minds to everything. And somebody like Toon that thinks he's smart, has a degree, whatever, that the thought of any part of science being wrong means he needs to reevaluate everything. And those guys they just can't do it. They just can't bring themselves to do it. It's like, did you see the video of Neil deGrasse Tyson asking that girl about gravity not being real?
And she said, yeah, I don't think it's a fundamental thing in the universe.
It's like shoulders. He's like, no, why are you doing this? Like, because he realizes that if something like that is, then everything that he believes and learned has to be reevaluated. He can't stand for that. I might have the video. I'll be able to send it to you.
I mean, that field goal
Robot has it. I'll play it.
That field goal went in because it went in?
No, that's Coriolis. Oh, yeah,
that's Coriolis.
Right here.
All right, look, it's right here. I'll play it.
Yeah.
Let me make sure it's up on X. All right. Yeah, this is pretty funny.
Janet, you're saying gravity might not exist as a fundamental thing in the universe?
I'm saying gravity might not exist as a fundamental thing in the universe.
Wow.
Man, Janet.
Let's keep that between us.
Yeah.
Everybody else,
I don't want
didn't hear that?
Janet, you're saying gravity might not...
How weird is it that they say, let's keep this between us?
Right, his shoulders like drop. Like, don't say that.
What?
It's just, I mean, this is the problem
in the universe.
Yo, but like they say, let's keep this between us. Like, why would you say that? As if to imply, like, we don't want to feed this idea of these people that think this isn't real. Literally, that's what they're talking about.
They know which direction it's going. And Michikaku already said it too, right? He's like, yeah, we taught you that there's a force pulling things to the ground. Well, there is no gravitational force. We lied to you.
Yeah, this is crazy. Someone should make a compilation of all that. But
Janet, you're saying gravity might not exist as a fundamental thing in the universe?
I'm saying gravity might not exist as a fundamental thing in the universe.
Wow.
Man, Jana.
Let's keep that between us.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
I don't
you
want
didn't
to
hear that?
Here's
Jana, you're saying gravity?
It's just weird to me. What a response.
Yeah, it's just weird because, again, once you realize what's going on up there and how they can take ideas and then basically build off those ideas, and then how faulty you can become so quickly. And people just assume that these guys know all these things, that they know distances, they know what's going on up in space, and it's all been pieced together with math. And it's just not. I was playing that video of Neil deGrasse last night, and he basically says the universe is as we measure it. And he says the universe has no responsibility to make sense to you. So he says, so I'm going to say some things tonight, and you're going to say to me that doesn't make sense, and I just want you to remember what I just said. He's basically saying that the universe only makes sense to him, not to any of us. And when we question it, when we ask him, hey, that doesn't make sense, we have to remember that the universe has no responsibility to make sense to us. So we should just sit back and let Neil say whatever he wants. It makes sense to me. I mean, the guy is very smart, super smart. Just listen to
Austin pointed out yesterday on Stationary Saturdays, which is a continuation of Flat Earth Fridays, he had a physicist guy. Was it a physicist that you were talking to? And you were trying to ask him. Tell a story where if he looked into something, what would happen to his career? Go ahead.
I was trying to ask him, like, so if you kind of came to the realization there was an ether, or you said it, like, what would your colleagues say, or like how would that impact your career? And he left. He literally left when I asked him that question. But yeah, because I had basically been like, I exposed the virtual photon I did, the virtual particles I did, and I was like, I mean, do virtual photons exist? He couldn't answer it. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you by the guy who got a Nobel Prize from the Feynman diagrams, which is where you actually get the virtual particles from, that they absolutely do not exist, and they're not the input or output of any experiment ever, and that their existence is questionable at best, and we just needed them because our models didn't work, and we had to balance out the equations. And he just freaks out about it. It's wild.
One of the biggest lies I hear all the time about science is that they have this belief that if a scientist came forward and said the earth was flat, they'd be rich. Just like a story that they tell, like, oh, if you knew that relativity was wrong, you'd get a Nobel Prize and you would step forward as the greatest scientist in history. No, that's not how it works. There's 400 guys that are doing peer review that all have the same belief and are all protecting that belief. And it's their entire body of work, their entire careers. So if somebody comes in with a paper that says relativity isn't true, that paper gets dismissed outright. So there's no idea of, oh, this scientist, you will then be shunned from the community. I told that story about those guys that sent in those dinosaur bones to the lab to be carbon dated. They were carbon dated. They came back between 10 and 14,000 years old. Then they were doing a presentation at an event. And when they found out that it was dinosaur bones that went through this carbon dating machine, they basically wrecked those guys' career, pulled them from the speaking tour, canceled their paper, pulled it from any publications. And those guys have a hard time getting a job now because they went against the rules. The rules are you have to tell a lab that you're sending dinosaur bones because they have to set the machine to a certain date time, because otherwise, if they said it wrong, it's going to come back like everything else comes back. But again, it's just, I hate this narrative. It's like the Neil deGrasse narrative that he's like, oh, a scientist goes out to prove evolution and he shows some sort of, he shows some results. Well, then other scientists look at that and they're like, I want to go disprove that. No. Sorry, there is no such thing as that. Nobody's out there like, I'm going to go disprove this evolutionary result that showed evolution. It's just not, there's no funding for that. And again, those people are going to put a name on themselves that they don't want. They don't want to be shunned by their own community. So it just doesn't happen the way people think it does. It's not a matter of, oh, then I got to go disprove this evolution. No, if somebody goes and does an evolutionary study and, oh, this beak grows this much over this amount of time, then it just remains as science. There's nobody out there trying to disprove that.
There's like, this is the other thing, right? So you have Runzi Kao, who falsifies relativity. And he like scored in the top 98 percentile of like academic Olympics in multiple subjects, multiple times, incredibly revered. And that doesn't mean he's right. Let's just like, that's how logic works. It doesn't mean he's right. But the point is that these people that do appeal to authority, they never appeal to the authority of the really, really, really smart, more prominent people, because those people agree with us, bro. And when I speak to these people, like PhD physicists, they agree with me. But like Feynman was very blunt about virtual photons, right? Virtual photons and virtual particles. But they'll disagree with what he's saying. But then they'll appeal to, they'll disagree by proxy of appealing to authority. And you have people like this guy who's just a genius, completely destroys relativity in every way, just pointing out the fundamental paradoxes. He can be dismissed. And then if you're like, oh, well, look, Nikola Tesla debunked it as soon as it came out. Oh, we have to go back to the early 1900s. Like you believe in a theory that came from the early 1900s. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it was disproven as soon as it came out. So that's the craziest part to me, is that they think that, like what you're saying, like that you would win a Nobel Prize for disproving it. And the truth is, the smartest people have come out, spoken out against it, and then they've had their entire career shattered, like just destroyed.
And I think you said before, this is probably 2 years ago that you started saying this, where you're like, there's no accountability to these guys on YouTube. So we're having these debates where they can literally just lie because their audience still watches them. It's never a point against them or anything. They can just lie and the next week show up and do the same thing. Or at least if we ever talk with actual real scientists, or, if you could still talk to Feynman or something like that, those guys have a reputation that they have to uphold, right? Feynman is one of the most famous scientists because of his ability to explain things in a simple way, to connect with people. So if he's up there just lying and just saying that things about relativity aren't true, then that's held against him. So that's the difference between these YouTube guys that have no real tie in the game other than their YouTube channel versus a Professor Rob Bell or something like that.
Even Rob Parks, right? When I talk to PhD astronomer Rob Parks, right? I get repetitive concession. He's like, yeah, you're right. There's not only a kinematic, but there's also a dynamic equivalence. You won't hear one anti-flat earther on the internet admit that there's a dynamic equivalence, meaning that if you used gravity, their versions of gravity, whichever one, the Earth could still be in the center. Now, the astronomer with the PhD read relational mechanics, the portion I sent to him, right? I sent him the whole thing. I showed him the portion. He read it, tried not to read it, act like I didn't send it to him. Then when he did read it, he conceded. Because he'll never publicly see. It was safer for him to not read it or to act like he didn't get it, because once he did read it, he knows, because of his academic reputation, he can't make a official public stance or assessment that's just a lie or just stupid, right? Because that undermines his reputation academically.
Like everybody from, whether you want to say Stephen Hawking or whether it's Mach or whether it's Einstein, all these guys said from the very beginning that if you had a universe moving around the Earth, you would have the same forces, Coriolis, etc., as you would if the Earth was moving within that universe. Like, these guys can't say that. So, but their main guys do. Their main guys have no problem admitting that, and they just kind of. And I think what bothers them so much about it is because they realize, I guess maybe they don't realize, but that those guys made decisions based philosophically, right? When they got to an impasse between, well, is it choice A or choice B, they would always go to the choice that eliminates God, eliminates centrality, eliminates stationary, because that's the antithesis of what they think science is. Science is a complete removal of supernatural. It's a complete removal of design. It's a complete removal of importance. So anything that gears you in that direction, we should expect to be shunned or at least ignored. But we can find them writing about it. Well, they'll say it, they'll admit it, but these guys can't even admit that. And it's just sad, because if they realize that, that's the whole thing about science that should be the problem. That's why I bring up Edwin Hubble. Edwin Hubble's telling you, oh, we look out, we see this, and the observation that the Earth is in the center can't be disproven based on observations. So time out. Science is all about these observations. He's just said the centrality of the Earth can't be disproven based on observations. So then they go into this, it's an absolute whore of a unique position. So we go with this spatial curvature and expansion. And so everything that's built beyond that, just rewind it back to where they said that something by observations can't be disproven. That is the centrality of Earth. Why aren't we at least studying that? They have to ignore that. So if these guys recognize that, or George L is saying, I can construct a spherically symmetrical universe with the Earth at its center, you can't disprove it based on observations. Those things should be big enough for these guys to wake up. And the fact that they just ignore it, that's why I know they're dishonest. Because if you're honest, you would say, okay, I see what he's saying, that the idea of the Earth being central is equal to what we see in observations. Right.
They're dishonest about everything. Like when at the end of my closing, I'm like, if you're new to the subject, I know it sounds crazy, whatever, but go watch The Principle, go watch heliosorcery, and that'll show you the historicity of kind of, this deception, or at least where all this came from when it comes to the heliocentric model. McToon, because the only reason I've ever even watched a part of him in forever is because you showed that demonic possession clip, and I'm like, yo, I'm making a video about this just to kind of show dude, you don't want to end up like this, And so it kept playing while I was pulling the video and ripping it and stuff like that and making the clip. And he says, like, he cuts that part off when I suggest you go check out the principle. He has to pause it and say, that's a geocentric globe. What's it, right? And of course, what I said was to get you started in understanding the heliocentric part of it. And so his argument is not that the principle doesn't make valid arguments. He can't rebut the macrodynamic equivalence or anything like that. He's just like, that's still a globe. And so he's like consciously made the decision to deceive his audience, to keep them bundled up into this little like echo chamber. You like be comfortable. It's okay. Daddy McToon's here to keep your beliefs safe. And like,
they're just too stupid to even talk about. I heard somebody say the other day, they don't even know the moon phases where they come from. So how could they talk about relativity? That's what they want their audience.
It's their talking point. Yeah. It's like, why would I talk to someone who doesn't understand, geodetic surveying? Or sunsets? Why would I talk to someone who doesn't understand a sunset about relativity? It's like, no, you just don't understand relativity, and even on a basic level. And because relativity is not understandable, but you don't even understand what your model claims and how it uses it. And so you have to stay away from it and they act like it's not important. It is incredibly important. But I have to help switch the car seat real quick. I can obviously play this, or you guys can just talk, or I can also give you screen share or whatever.
We'll talk.
Okay, cool. I'll be back in just a second.
They don't understand relativity, and they also don't understand how a sun sets on a flat Earth or how a boat disappears from the bottom up on a flat Earth, which is completely explainable, provable, and not a theory.
They don't want to. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's easier if they don't even entertain it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, and this is what I see as a true investigator or researcher and not, is that once you uncover one of those, it leads you to another. And that's what we all went through, right? Was learning, wait a second, so this is wrong, and then the planes that don't go around, they're getting circumnavigation records for not circumnavigating. And then, let me look for undersea cables. There's no undersea cables. Let me look for cruises. There's no cruises. Let me look at these plane flights. They go north. So everything keeps adding, it snowballs, and it just, that's not a possibility. This is what I said the other night.
But Jeran, a flight from somewhere in the United States to the UK is the same amount of a flight from Santiago to wherever. That's twice the distance. How come they take the same amount of time, Jeran?
And that's proof. I mean, computers don't fly planes or anything.
And planes don't fly at different speeds, and the air speeds, and wind speeds aren't different. And sure,
yeah.
You know what? We have to make this flight. We're just gonna let them be at we're gonna make them different at the same time, just to screw people up. I mean, it's so easy to deceive people. It's so easy.
Yeah, and people think things are proof when they're just not. And the whole idea, I still hear people all the time say, look, we just need to go here and fly straight. We just need to go here and drive straight. It's like, if you can't even fathom the idea that there is no such thing as that we can't fly straight, we can't drive straight.
Hey, Jeran, what about my final experiment, the gyro, the vertical gyro, east and west? It costs a lot less than sending two people to Antarctica. It's doable in one day.
So let me just see if I can steelman it. So you're talking about taking a plane from north, flying directly south, trying to go as far as we can, say a quarter of so what would that be, about 6,000 miles or 5,000 mile flight or something like that, or even less?
No. This is different. So you get a gyro holds rigidity, parallel to the surface of the Earth. But turn a gyro vertical, spin it up, so while you're stationary on the ground, it's oriented east and west, right?
Oh, so it's sideways. Okay.
So you take the plane gets up to altitude, and you just use the gyro to head in the direction of east or west on the gyro, right? And ignore the magnetic compass. Now we know that as you're going west, north will peel off west will peel off to the right, and everything will peel off to the right. But west will peel off to the right. If you don't turn, you're going to be heading south, right?
Okay.
So that's the same on a globe Earth, though, in the north, right? But once you're south of the equator on a globe, west would peel off to the left. On a flat Earth, west will peel off to the right.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So we get in a plane and we do this test, and you're only going to fly a couple hundred miles, 1,000 miles, whatever, however far you want to go. It doesn't matter, because that will start peeling off quickly. The farther south you are, the faster it would peel off to the left. And so there's proof right there. But then the globers will say, oh no, the gyro, it's got, it's processing because of whatever. Then you say, okay, let's do it north and south. So You just set the gyro up, spin it up with a north-south orientation, and it won't change. You can head north using the gyro compass, and your magnetic compass will follow the exact same line.
Okay, so explain to me your idea of the test. Where would we take off? What would we do?
So the test would be we would go anywhere south of the equator, so let's say Brazil, and we would have a big plane, at least like a DC-10 or something, plane we could walk around, and we would have college professors, we'd have scientists, we'd have people, retired military, whoever we can get. We'd have film crews, we'd have crews filming the film crews, we'd have the gyros, a couple $1,000s worth of gyros. And we would prove that the gyros hold rigidity as far as direction goes by flying north and south. So we could even start the test when we, leave America and fly down there and just follow it, a meridian straight down, a longitude line, longitude line. And then we reorient it east and west and show that it does peel off to the right. And you could do it in the north, proving that it's the same for globe and flat in the north. But in the south, it has to switch, and you and I both know it won't.
And if we flew the north to south, wouldn't the gyro have to adjust based on your? No, I'm saying no. No, I'm saying it would adjust the plane, right? Like so let's say we spin up a gyro and it's on a holder and it's straight perpendicular to the ground when we take off from, say, Florida, and then you fly down to, say, I don't know, South America, Buenos Aires or something. Well, then when you get to Buenos Aires, the gyro itself should be leaning.
No, the Earth is flat, stupid. It's not going to be leaning.
No, I'm saying
it should be though if it were a globe.
But they claim that the gyros go with the. We're going to get off of that. We're going to prove. So we say that gyros hold rigidity in space. Globers say gyros wrap around the Earth because of gravity or whatever. I'm going to prove to you that a gyro will hold a north-south rigidity perfectly, and you can follow the gyro, and the compass will do the same. And then we show in the north that when we turn east and west,
the point that when you talk about the first part of the experiment, that alone proves the flat Earth. You're going to the next step. You don't even need to. If you can fly north. You said that we're going to start out by flying north-south to show that the gyro maintains its brightness, right? Okay, well that alone disproves the globe Earth. So what do you mean?
No, it won't. It doesn't because it's vertical. It's following a longitude line. On a globe or a flat Earth, it would kind of be the same. On a globe, you have to pretend that you're flying around a curve, but the gyro is not processing because it's vertical. Think of a spinning disc vertical. And you're following the line of that disc, right? So on longitude and anywhere on the Earth, it'd be the same. And in the north, east and west will be the same as far as the precession of west or east peeling off from your direction because you're holding rigidity. And it's not going to follow because east and west are circles, but they're the same on a flat Earth in the north. But in the south, the east and west would have to veer off. It would take a left-hand circle, but because we know the Earth is flat, we know it's going to peel off to the right. Period. It's simple. It's provable. You just have to get people to understand it, and we can film it and we can prove it, and we could say that the same gyro is used for north and south. How come it only processes in the flat Earth proof direction in the south? It's really that easy.
Yeah, I need to make sure that I don't have a misunderstanding then. So my understanding is that a gyro would hold its rigidity in space, meaning that if it's spun up at a certain place on the Earth, let's say right here in my house, then no matter where I move, it's going to hold that same plane.
It's going to hold that same plane. So if you spin it up where the edge of it, think of it just as a disc, and the edge of it is lined up north and south.
Correct.
So it's spun up north and south. So if you flew north or south, it's going to match up with the compass. Put it on top of a compass.
Yeah, but you realize if it flew south, then it has to change its orientation. It has to stay rigid in space because it has to stay rigid in space.
Yeah, but we're heading. No. The plane is heading. Like if the plane took a left-hand turn, the gyro that's sitting on the cockpit, dashboard If the plane turned west 90 degrees, now that gyro is not pointing in the direction you're going. It's still pointing north and south, but you're going perpendicular to the gyro. You're using the gyro to tell you that you're heading south. Let's say south for now, right? So it's free floating on its 3-axis gimbal, and you're just making sure that it around the gyro. You line it up with magnetic north and south, and then you mark on a circle around the gyro north, east, west, and south, and you make sure that you don't veer off of that line. That gyro is going to keep you going south or north, either way you're going. It's going to keep you in that direction. And that's going to be the same on a globe, which is impossible. You can have airplanes on a globe. That's a whole other thing. And it's going to prove that the gyro will do that. And then east and west, you can prove that north will, you'll east and west are circles around north, and it'll be the same. It'll veer off when you try to go east and west because they're not straight lines on a flat Earth or a globe Earth, right? There's similarities, right? Longitude lines are straight on a globe and on a flat Earth. Latitude lines are circular around a center point on a globe and a flat Earth. The only difference is south of the equator, the latitude lines change the way that they shift. When you start heading west in the south, west goes left. On a flat Earth, west always veers off to the right.
No, it's very true. You got a point there.
Yeah. So what would this take? A rental of a plane, getting the right people to the place to get on the plane, hors d'oeuvres, of course, and film crew and some gyros. Let's say $10,000 worth of gyros. I probably can do it for like 500, but let's say 10,000.
Yeah, because they have to be the motorized ones.
Literally, we're going to get a dozen of the highest quality gyros, right? And then we bring a bunch of retired pilots with us, or pilots that have the balls to stand up and confirm that we're doing stuff correctly, and film crew and any honest people that would go, and none of these anti-flat earthers are welcome. But unless we can like tie them up and just gag their mouths and let them look.
I still say.
And also because we're flying over populated areas, we could friggin' live stream the whole thing with 10 different live streams.
I like it.
It's cheaper than trying to go to Antarctica.
Compartment, though, David. Only the baggage.
You know what? I
compartment.
don't even want them on my airplane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, true. I agree.
I'm sorry.
You don't want to ruin it by having to look at them while you're doing it.
Somebody on Flat Earth Fridays prayed for my hand, and to disconnect that evil spirit from my hand. And whether it's in my head or not, I feel a little better.
There you go. You can make your own reality.
I agree with it. I think the test is good as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and it's doable. Like there's a guy in the chat that wants to do that fishing line experiment that who tried that in Australia? What's his name? Mitchell. And the line kept breaking, and then the logistics of stretching a fishing line.
Oh, dude, we've talked about that for hours and hours in Discord. It's not really that feasible.
No, it's not feasible because the conditions have to be perfect, and then one boat comes over and goes over it. Now you got to pay for their engine and the line that it just ate. And there's a million, and then filming it and documenting it, and I figured out the proper line to use, which is kite surfing line, which is visible, but it's $20,000 for 3 miles of line. And then the logistics, it's just a nightmare. This is doable in one day. You don't even need good weather. Just as long as an airplane can fly, and you get the people there. You have 25 people on the plane, 50 people on the plane, whatever. Just honest scientists. Military people, anybody that really wants to know the truth or is looking for a proof either way. Now, Globers should be like, yeah, this is great. Globers will never agree to this. But I think it's undeniable proof, especially since you verify it with the north and south, where it works, holding rigidity north and south. First thing is, you have to educate even the Globers that east and west are circles because they don't even know that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Real fast, totally different subject, but you guys heard about the Slovakian government official bringing up flat Earth?
No.
Oh, wow, yeah. So the Slovakian government official says that the Earth's flat, and he says, I've never been to space. Have you been to space? He says that nothing short of a trip to space basically would prove to him that the Earth's not flat. This may be the video. I'm going to play it, but I don't know if this is actually the video of him saying it or not, but let's see.
Ja to poviem na jednoduchom príklade. Zem je gulatá, zem je plocha. Máme ľudí, ktorí...
Okay, not even translated. Anyway, you can look it up. It's everywhere, right? Is the Earth round or flat? Cultural Ministry official, chief official says proof is still needed, right? Also, we can't talk completely about this, right? But the Prime Minister of Slovakia said something about, he's going to expose everything that happened over the last 4 years. All the fakery, all the lies with the bioweapon, with everything, right? And then this guy makes the news all over the place. This May 18th, you got all over the place. The last couple days, this guy said that the Earth could be flat. He's like, is the Earth round? He says that proof is still needed. He's clearly a flat earther, and he's being like somewhat tactful how he's saying it, but he's like, yeah, I think the Earth could be flat. He's just saying it, right? So pretty substantial. You guys know, of course, what happened a couple days ago, right?
No.
The Slovakian prime minister, there was an assassination attempt in the middle of the street.
Oh, that guy, the same guy.
No. This is the same guy who says he's going to expose the whole pandemic and everything about it. And within his cabinet, a guy said the Earth was flat and made like national news. Those two things happened just before this. And the flat Earth thing, very close to it. So, correlation, but interesting.
They're panicking. They are
interesting.
panicking.
I mean, why are government officials saying the Earth is flat? And then the head of the cabinet, the prime minister getting shot right after. Pretty weird. I just didn't know if you guys heard of it.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, he's in critical condition. I guess a guy walked up to him with a pistol, shot him, and then he ended up surviving. But I mean, he's in critical condition still. So. Yeah, I mean, now obviously we know he's playing with fire to come out and say we're going to expose to the whole world what really happened with that situation, right? But anyway, yeah, I didn't know if you guys have heard of it. It's pretty crazy.
What should happen to a gyroscope on the ISS? Shouldn't we be able to spin one up and then watch it as the craft is going over 90 minutes? It would have to completely flip upside down.
Yes. That's awesome, Jeran.
Okay. Real fast. Okay.
Wait,
but can we pretend they can't fake that? Come on.
Why doesn't that also? But
no,
why does the bottom of the ISS always face the Earth?
Gyroscope.
Is it gravitationally locked like the moon?
Damn it! Jeran just gave. I'll do push-ups. Jeran gave him another idea now, because all they do on the ISS is they just want to convince us they're on the ISS. So next thing you know, dude, they're gonna have a gyroscope on that. Thank you, Jeran. They're watching for sure. Here comes the gyroscope. Here comes the Globers. Like, yeah, sure, you just did 3 hours showing them drop things in 0G, but look at the gyroscope. Oh, they got a gyroscope. It flipped over. Explain that.
Well, the reason I'm more thinking about that is because I guess I don't get why. So, Dave, were you saying that wouldn't be proof the north-south to see if it tipped?
What I'm saying is that the north, when you line the gyroscope up with north and south.
Hold on, don't say that. That doesn't make sense to me. Let's just say we're on the ground, we're getting ready to take off in a plane, and we spin the gyro up, and the axis is is straight up and down, right, perpendicular to the.
Right. Yeah. So perpendicular, and then you line up the plane of it north and south.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, and then you go up in the air, and you make sure that the plane of that is pointing straight forward on the airplane. Because if you took a left or a right to go east or west, it would point sideways because it would stay rigid. So you just use it to say, "I'm going south," and you follow that. Now your compass that's sitting right next to it will agree you're going south. Now, GPS might lie, but we're not using GPS. We're using a magnetic compass and a gyro. Now, if we were going west and we looked at the magnetic compass, we would think we're flying straight, but we would be taking a right constantly when we're flying west.
That part, I'm still talking about the north-south part. Go back to north-south. Yeah, so now you're flying south. You're staying south. The compass is showing south, and the
vertical gyro is maintaining its south lineup. Yes.
So if you flew from the North Pole to the South Pole, you would have to watch the gyroscope flip upside down inside the plane.
No, it wouldn't flip upside down because it only changes its orientation, right? And again,
what?
It's spinning, so it's not. It's the flip. It would be the spin. It's not flipping left and right. If you hold your hand out like a fin in front of you, you're going the way your fingers are pointing, and even if you're going over a globe, it's spinning in that same orientation. So there's no flipping. Now,
it would have to be upside down when you got to the South Pole.
No, there's no upside down to up down on a vertical gyro. It's spinning, so the top is the bottom every other second.
Top is the bottom.
It's a circle. It's a circle. You got a frisbee, and it's spinning, and you're going along the plane of that. And whether you're going around a ball, it's still going to be spinning, holding that main direction. But let's get off the ball. We're on a flat Earth. We know that. We're going to show.
So I'm sure on a globe. I mean, I guess I'm confused how you don't think, or maybe I'm wrong. Why wouldn't it flip upside down? Why wouldn't the plane have to be upside down?
Well, I know, Jeran. I know once it's like aligned a certain way, like you can spin it, like you have the gyro on the gimbals, and if it's not aligned, yes, it will read any type of movement. If you spin it clockwise or counterclockwise, but once it flips and aligns with the plane, it'll just sit in that spot. Then you can keep turning it that same. Now, if you turn it back the other way, it's going to flip over to the other side. So you can align a gyro. So even though it's rotating, it won't.
Your point is, if it's lined up north and south, and you flew east and west, yeah, it would have to flip over if we were on a globe. If you're flying sideways, it's going to maintain that upward north-south orientation, and yeah, it would flip over because it would hold that orientation. But if you're heading in the direction that it's going, that it's lined up with, there's no flip. It's not a sideways flip because we're not going sideways. We're going in that same direction.
That's not holding rigidity in space, then.
Yes, it is. It's holding rigidity. Yes, it is. Because
I want Austin to tell me if I'm wrong here, because I need to.
Yeah, because again, let's stop living in Narnia. We're on a flat Earth, so it's not going to flip. It's not going to flip.
I'm saying,
now, should it flip on a globe? Who cares? Who cares? We're showing that it's not processing. We're showing that when we're going east and west, south of the equator, that east and west will veer off to the west to the left and east to the right. And that would prove the globe, but it's not going to do that. It's going to go the other way, which proves the flat Earth.
Let me share my screen real quick, and you tell me what's wrong with this.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
All right, just a second. I just want to point out that apparently a Republican candidate at the Republican
Candace, I did 2 interviews with her.
The Republican debate says the Earth's flat. All right.
I did 2 interviews with her. Just search the app for Candace Taylor. Candace Taylor's last name, right? She's awesome. She's totally flat.
Yeah, Georgia's Republican primary candidate says the Earth's flat. There are globes everywhere to brainwash us. All right, let me give you the share screen. Let me find it.
Oh, that went viral. That was from my interview because she said there's globes everywhere, and that's the only clip they took, and it was on every mainstream media.
Is this your interview right here though? This is like she's doing it again, right? This is May 24th.
I think they keep redoing it. Let me see it. I don't see it.
Do you see it now?
I don't. I just see us.
Oh, yeah, because I stopped sharing. Real fast, Jeran. Let me show him this.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, in 1 minute, and everyone should see it.
More and more, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So, is it or not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is you. Who's this guy?
And Matt. That's Matt Long.
Yeah. This girl's country girl.
Yeah, but it's
she's
just,
awesome.
it doesn't make sense the other way. Now that you see it.
The people that defend the globe don't know anything about the globe, because if they knew 1/10 of what Matt and I know about the globe, they would be flat earthers, because it's absolutely ridiculous.
I can't unsee this. All the globes everywhere. I turn on TV, there's globes in the background. There's globes on there right here. Like this would be a globe if I was a normal person. Like everywhere there's globes. You see them all the time. I mean, it's constant. My children will be like, Mama, globe, 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 globe. They're everywhere. And that's what they do to brainwash. And so for me, if it is not a conspiracy, if it is, real, why are you pushing so hard? Everywhere I go, every store, you buy a globe. There's globes everywhere, every movie, every TV show, news media. Why?
Well, but obviously the answer would be because if that really was the Earth, I mean, it's like a depiction of the whole Earth, right? So
right. And they took that and they literally blew her up, and it was crazy on Twitter what happened. I have a whole playlist of all of the hit pieces done by her. What's that? The Republicans, what's that big Republican channel? A whole bunch of channels did major hit pieces on her. But I told her that there's so many people in Georgia now that are flat earthers, and they're all going to vote for her. So if you're in Georgia, make sure you vote for her.
So okay, that's cool. She's gonna hold the line.
Yeah, she's not going to back down. She can't, because she's very biblical, and she knows that the Bible is flat Earth, and she's going to hold her position. And if she doesn't get elected because of it, too bad. And if she does, because all the flat earthers support her, and there's so many of them now, that'll be amazing.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I was looking up something else, and she randomly popped up in an article. Yep. I guess a year old, actually. So, all right, Jeran, you can share screen if you would like.
Go ahead. I don't know if it'll work or not. Let's see here. This one, I believe, is over here. Tell me if you can see my drawing pad or not.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So this is why I'm confused. If you had a plane, sorry for my bad drawings, and inside the plane we have a gyroscope. So it's like this and spinning this way, right? And it's on
that's a regular gyroscope, yes.
Okay, it's on a gimbal. So if the Earth were a ball and this plane flew North Pole to South Pole, then the gyroscope still needs to be spinning like this the whole entire time, meaning when you got down, it'd be upside down.
Correct. But but hold on. So you're on a globe. Let's say that plane just did a circle, a 500-mile circle. The gyroscope's not going to process, because 500 miles, there's not that much curvature, whatever. Or on a flat Earth, if it just did a big circle, the gyroscope is going to maintain that spin, so it didn't flip.
Okay,
right? If the gyroscope went to because it's oriented flat, horizontal. If the plane did a horizontal circle, it's just going to spin along that circle, and it's not going to change its orientation. Now flip it upright, and now it'll change its orientation when you turn left and right. But when you go straight around a ball, it won't change its orientation.
Okay, I got you, because the axis is still lined up. Right. So you're saying your test is just a shorter version because we can find out quicker.
We can find out immediately. We can prove it, verify, hey, in the north, it does peel off to the right. No, when I say peel off, I mean that when you're heading west will peel off to the right of your dead reckoning direction, right? And that doesn't prove anything, because it's the same for a globe and a flat Earth. It's only in the south that on a globe that peeling off would have to change directions, and it won't.
So if this plane was going this direction just for 6,250 miles, sorry for my plane here, then when the plane got here, you would expect the gyro to be like this.
Well, that's if it was a vertical flat gyro like a regular plane, but because it's vertical, not horizontal, it's not going to change at all.
No, I know that. I'm saying that on a globe, this is a globe drawing, that if you flew 6,250 miles, which is the equivalent of 1/4 direction on the globe, that if you spun the gyro up at takeoff like this, that it has to maintain that exact rigidity.
We've had that argument for years, and they claim they don't want to address it.
No, they claim pendulous vanes adjust for it in their plane. But I'm saying if we just got a plane and spun up the gyro ourselves and flew on the Earth ourselves, you wouldn't even need to go 90 degrees. We don't need to see it change 90 degrees. Go 45 degrees, fly 3,000 miles. And when you get there, the gyroscope better be oriented this way in the plane. It's got to be a 45-degree angle.
We've already pulled the data of the pendulous planes. It doesn't adjust for the curvature of the Earth.
You know what? We can have a pendulous vanes gyro, a horizontal, like a normal gyro. We can have a regular gyro, horizontal. And then we could also do vertical gyros at the same time. We could do 4 different tests at the same time. Yeah, and it would absolutely 100, because the Globers will claim that gravity is pulling it around, but we can show that
they're going to claim that gravity's pulling the gyroscope around.
Well, whatever they claim, they always have some stupid claim, but they can't claim anything, because the gyro peels off heading west to the right in the north. It does peel off. It maintains rigidity. It maintains its dead reckoning position when heading north and south. South flatter globe hasn't proved anything, but south of the equator when heading west, the west will peel off to the left, and that and it's not. It's going to peel off to the right. Left, globe, 100%. Right, flat Earth, 100%.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'm in support. I'm in support.
Yeah, and that's something, we bring we want to bring some globers on the plane. It doesn't matter. They're on the plane. We're on the plane. The plane's not going down. I want to just document it. I'd love to do it quietly. I'd like to get real pilots, real scientists, real people that aren't afraid, and document it, live stream it, record it. It's doable. It's easy. Way easier.
All of a sudden, UFOs start surrounding the plane.
Yeah, Foo Fighters.
Hey, could you
time
have
warped.
my thing on the screen? I got a gyroscope here. I just wanted to show this to you, Jeran.
Give me just a sec.
Sweet. You see it?
So, as long as, like right now, I can get it to flip over, but if I keep spinning it this way, it doesn't process anymore. So you can align a gyroscope to where it'll process a certain way and it'll stay. See, I can rotate it, but it really doesn't move unless I lift the edges up different. It has a thing to set it on, but I lost a piece.
Right, but now pretend like you flew from the North Pole towards the west or east. You would tumble over, and it should still maintain its.
Well, yeah, just pretend like me turning like this is going around the globe. As long as I keep it, now it's going to flip over. But if I just keep going this way, it stays flat.
Does that one come with a motor? Did Bob get one with a motor?
Yeah, we both have the same one, so we have two of them here.
Nice.
But yeah, it can rotate without processing,
which is
once
what
it gets to a certain spot.
Well,
yeah, it has to be lined up.
Gyros work on airplanes and they don't process, so that's all we need. We need some friggin' airplane gyros.
Right. Again, they all tell you that it's being controlled inside the box that only Honeywell can touch.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a way to get high speed, awesome powered gyros that we can prove are holding their line in space.
I agree.
There you go.
Yeah, when I bring up the Globers, they just want to change the subject. So
yeah,
that's all you need to know, Jeran.
Yes. What?
I just bring it up to the Globers. They all change the subject.
Yeah. I don't doubt that. It's like the same thing with any of these issues. They just can easily change it. It's like, and why, I was saying yesterday, I saw people message me saying, "What? I heard you say something about the flat Earth as a psyop." I said, no, what I said was if the sun went behind me in Antarctica, immediately I would know that the entire flat Earth was a psyop, because there's no reason for all these things to be true if the Earth is not flat. It means that they were set up like that. It means that the South Pole webcam site was set up that way. It means everything is set up that way because they want you to be at odds. That's all I was saying, is that if I saw the sun go behind me, it wouldn't be like, oh, we were wrong about everything we saw. No, everything we've seen has been correct. So therefore, it means that it has been set up on purpose that way.
Because you're an honest person. Can you show that? Or tell me where to go?
Yeah. You mean the webcams?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll bring it up.
Nice. Because I think most people may have seen it, but just so people see it. Yeah. It's pretty, because the point I was making in your chat last night, and you read it, was like, funny how it's claimed to be 24 hours, and you go there, you may just assume it is 24 hours, right? Until you catch that it's pretty wild that they do that, right? That because it gives them plausible deniability without like making a really specific definitive claim, but leading you to believe something. And then if you catch it, they can be like, oh well, excuse, So.
Yeah, and it's nobody would ever go here. So it's right here. You just have to type in. I typed in South Pole webcams, and it's not this first one, but the second one here, the NOAA one. And when you go to that site, you'll see that it says right up here, you can also view time-lapse movies from the camera, from the South Pole. So then you click there, and you get this huge list, which basically is 2010 to 2016. I wonder if it's everything. So January to April. So it looks like they just don't have April to September, which would be when it's completely black, right? So you wouldn't have a webcam when it's dark the whole time. So they have January to April when you should have 24-hour sun, September to December, January to April, September to December. These should all be at least some portion of 24-hour sun. Even towards the ending of it, you should see it really low on the horizon, then still be above. So when you go in here, if they don't have any 24-hour videos of the sun here, I was thinking today too, it doesn't even make sense. They're like, oh, we don't have the bandwidth to send it. But hold on a second. So eventually you do, because all this stuff is sitting here on some website. Nobody thinks that it's being housed at the South Pole. So just get the videos to this website and let the website host the videos. Like, it's not even different. Like, I don't even understand. You don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Dude, when you said that, I was in the chat like, what does that even mean? Wait, time out. It's 2024. We don't have the band. What do you mean? What does that mean?
It said, like, we only have 30 minutes of satellite time a day, and we have to send the footage within that 30 minutes. It's like, okay, but people come back from there, so send them with a fucking memory card full of the 24-hour sun, and then they'll put it up on the website. Like, it's not like this has to be live. It's just you don't even have the video. So anyway, you go to any of these. Let's go to one that would have, January to March here.
Why are you pulling it up? And I don't want to give them any ideas, but how come they haven't faked it yet? I mean,
they have faked it. They have faked it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But once you see that and you look at these dates, it's just none of these, not one of them is a 24-hour. You can see here it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 6, 7. So every single video skips 10 hours. And it's exactly what you would expect on a flat Earth. That's what I mean by a PSYOP, is that if the Earth was flat, this is what you would see, because the sun comes from your right, goes to your left, and sets. Now, again,
it sets, exactly. This is just the sun setting.
Yeah, it's just the sun setting. And then they stop the camera and restart it. So this is why I know there's no 24-hour sun. If there was, what would be more impressive if you got here and it said, here's 3 months of 24-hour sun footage. That's more impressive than this stupid site having all these dates on here, and not one of them shows anything that anybody would want to see.
Well, you guys, they just don't have the bandwidth. They don't do things to prove it to flat earthers. Like that's what they would. That's literally what they'll say back. How stupid is that? Like, I feel bad for these people.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like, and this is where, like, this kind of evidence is when we show this to humanity, that even if you believe in the globe and you believe in NASA and you believe in NOAA, you have a right, you have the duty to say, yeah, this is horseshit. Can we? And then everybody force them to put up a 24-hour camera. Like, that's it. It doesn't mean like go and protect them and make excuses for. There is no excuse for this. There's no excuse. And if you're somebody who's making an excuse for it, you're pathetic. Because
that's why McToon. Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's why McToon looks demonic, right? Because he knows that if the average person in the world sees stuff like this, they're not going to be psychos like them. They're going to be like, wait a minute. They need to keep us out of the public, bro. That's why they're freaking out if we get on bigger shows, because they're not. They failed. Mission failed. They didn't keep us out of the public, and they know the average person's gonna be like honest about it.
There's enough wrong with the model that anybody who's in their right mind that checks into it is going to have questions. Now, Toon, he feels like, no, it's got to be a globe. Let's just say that he believes it. So he believes it so strongly. He's like, yeah, no matter how many mistakes they've made or anything, I don't want those mistakes getting out to people, because then more people will start to think that. And it's wrong. It's not scientific, and they're stupid, and it's a dumb belief. When in actuality, we're pointing out all these things because it's impossible that all these things could be the case.
What does he think? He thinks he's the thought police of the world, as he sat back and didn't say a word as they rushed out the bioweapon.
Right. That's what they do think. They think that they are like smarter than the world, and they are. That's what all these guys have thought. But again, yeah, you can go to any of these dates, just click play, and you'll see. Oh, some of them you can't see the time very well, but again, they flip around and then click. So look at, here's the sun going by. Come back by, sun. So there's the sun, goes right to left, which is what you would expect. Imagine you're in Antarctica on a flat Earth looking out at the horizon. The sun would come from the right. Now, it might have just risen. It comes across your sky, and then it's going to set. And that's what we would expect to see. So there would be no camera footage on on a flat Earth. And that's what happens. You see the sun go by, and you can't tell ever whether it's actually going and setting or what it's doing. And again, it's going to come by. You just see these shadows growing. And another thing is, I've seen shadows before that look nothing like what you would expect down there. You should see long shadows at certain times. I don't see that. There's other webcam sites. There's like this one here.
Let's do it real simply. Like, okay, if someone tells you you're a flat earther, someone says, okay, we have a camera in Antarctica that's going to video the sun for 24 hours. What's your flat Earth prediction? We would say, okay, well, the sun's not going to be in the sky for 24 hours in the south. Right? It can only happen in the north. So it's going to come from one side, and then it's going to be up for a little bit, and then it's going to set. And so you're going to have a shadow that's going to move around from one side to the other, and then the sun's going to go away. The globe's going to say, no, it's going to do a full 360, just never ending for 4 straight months, 24 hours. Like, okay, cool. Then you go look at the video, and it matches exactly what it would be on a flat Earth, and is cut out exactly where it would be different, showing that it's a globe. Does it take a genius to like put pieces
And I just
together.
noticed right now it's their winter, right? But for some reason, I just went through an entire day's worth of photos, so they can do it during the winter. So look at here, like this is right now. So this is what are we in May? So there should at the South Pole it should be 24 hours of darkness on either model. We both would agree with that. But you'll notice here that it says 4 hours ago, and then 3 hours ago, and then I was just kind of going back 4 hours this way, 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, oops, is that the beginning one? All right, so then I'm gonna go this way. So 3 hours ago, then, well, where's 4 hours ago? There we go, 3. Why do they all say 3? There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they have a whole day's worth of photos from the winter, but we can't do it during the summer. 18. Oh man, I'm not able to.
Yeah, and that's because dark. They're less megabytes files with a lot of dark area. The white is very high in megabytes.
Looks like 20 to.
And there are a bunch of dead pixels and
That's
some
a
type
terrible.
of
Here
gravitation effect.
we're in. Think how great video looks when you're using a GoPro camera that costs you $600. Like the NOAA doesn't have enough money to set up a 360-degree 24-hour webcam at the South Pole. I call horseshit. There's no way that that's not possible to do. There's no
It's
way.
like there's the one 360 video that supposedly shows it. You've seen that one?
The one that's like 5 days worth.
I don't know. Supposedly it's like an interactive 360 video. It's a few years ago. You can like move around.
Oh, the one with the watch on it.
No.
Oh
no, there's a different one.
But
But
I do want to show that one though, real quick. Is that on YouTube? 24.
yeah, 24.
hour-
Yeah, I think it's. I think it. Actually, last time I looked it up, I couldn't find it. I had to have someone send it to me.
I know which one we were talking about. The one with the watch, right?
Last time I tried to look it up, it had been removed, which is totally not sketchy. You know what? Just a reminder for people that don't know, dude. The Glober spammed that. That might have been it right there. It said frozen Antarctica or frozen South or something. But
Correct,
these people spammed it. You see right there, like frozen South. But they like spammed it everywhere as a slam dunk. Flat Earth is dead. Right? That's the part of the story that's always left out. They dude, this was dropped all over the internet for like a year straight as like it's still dropped to this day.
Well, this one here, I think, is just looks fake to me. I mean, first of all, that you don't have any rays changing here, but watch this. This is what I'm talking about. Where let's imagine that the sun is about to set here, and it's crazy because here comes the clouds. Now watch the sun and just kind of follow my mouse as the clouds go here. So now the clouds are blocking. Now imagine that the sun is going off in this direction. Oops, right up over here, where it's going off and setting. Like it is possible that it does that. That it sets here. Now watch it get blocked. Okay, now it's blocked. Now imagine that it keeps going and sets. It's going. It's setting over there. It's setting. There, it's gone. The sun set. And then they just have this little bright spot here. And then it comes back up and then pops out of the clouds. And people call this proof. Like the sun, we just saw the sun set, in my opinion. The sun set.
Oh yeah, okay. This is okay. This one's stupid. The other one's the one the other one's the one they sent everywhere though.
The loop one.
Yeah.
Yeah, flat earthers proving that one was fake. And then this one,
It looked like the sun set. It looked like the sun went away and it was just daylight.
It does, and now it's just back up there in the exact same rays. But what we had a problem with is how are the locations behind mountains? Like I'm a video editor. I don't know how to do that unless I use layers. So the video has been layered because how else would you like go again here when it's got when it says west behind the mountain like that? How do you do that? You know how to make it videos, Austin. How would you put the word west behind this mountain?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you'd have to use a layer. You'd put the word west down, and then you would put the layer of the mountains over it.
Without layers, I don't know how.
Yeah. So again, and then just other ones I've seen, you don't see these rays stay so consistent like that. I mean, again, I'm not able to say whether or not it's fake, but to me, it certainly doesn't.
Can you go
look like
theater
something-
mode?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. But again, watch the sun. And imagine that. Imagine that it's going to go off and set, which is what we'd expect. And it goes this way, and then you just and again, just some words on the screen that are behind mountains. But here, watch the light. There goes the light. There goes the light. There goes the light. There goes the light. You can see it over there, and it's going to go set. So to me, it's like that's funny that this video is the one that they end up using for proof. I'm like, what? Find me. Why don't we have a video where there's no clouds? And then I looked up Union Glacier, and then you pop out, and it's like the sun's way up here again, with the same rays coming out. So if you go to what was I just saying? Oh yeah, so if you type
I would
in,
have called that a wash. I'm sorry. I would have been like, oh, better do it again another time when, it wasn't 8 hours of cloud cover going by there.
which is why I don't want to do a crowdfund to go to Antarctica, because I was like, no, I don't want to have my entire audience pitch in for a $45,000 trip, which is way too fucking expensive anyway. And I don't want to do that. And then we go down there and see clouds for 3 days. Like, that's terrible. But I'm not the one who came up with the experiment. Duffy is. So I wanted Duffy to spend it. And then if it's 3 cloud days, oh, well, then he lost the money. It's his fault. He shouldn't have made the experiment. But
Well, that's why we called it "Why Would They Lie," right? Because if it's like, okay, let's really have an honest, transparent test where we get Globers and Flyers together and we finish it once for all. Why lie? If the sun's really out for 24 hours, why doctor the footage, claim it's real? Why lie? Why constantly lie about this part of the discussion when it is a distinguishing difference between the two ideas? I did send you another video too, and if you want to check it out later, but someone sent me that. It's like a 360 interactive footage, but there's like a lot of clouds and stuff like that.
On the 360, but during the eclipse?
No. There's one that, you know how like it's 7 years ago and it's like an interactive, like, you can click on the screen and move it around. I sent it in your Telegram. You know what I'm talking about? Like I did a few streams like that. Yeah. This is one that supposedly shows the 24-hour sun. And if you turn around, you can try to follow the sun, but there are moments where there's just no sun visible, tons of clouds.
Yeah, right? I mean, to me, it's just funny that if this is the one place in Antarctica, supposedly Glacier Union Camp, it's actually Union Glacier. Sorry, let me change that. That's not how you say it. Union Glacier Camp. If there's only one of these, then I would expect people to go down there and they would there should be 100 videos of the 24-hour sun, because you're going down there for 4 days. Nobody went down and filmed it with a 360 camera or something. It's just funny that we can't find that. Union Glacier, Swoop Antarctica.
It should be 4 straight months of 24-hour sun.
Yeah. It should be. And again, I can't find one video from that camp, which is suspect to me. Now, if we find, there's one that shows like a Union Glacier camp. Let me put 24 time lapse. Maybe that's better. And there's one video that shows like the sun going by. And I'm like, who would make this video? Because it's like so useless. See this one here. So this one here is like Antarctica nighttime time lapse. Okay, great. This doesn't show anything. What you're showing here is that a camera is set off looking in this direction. We're looking at a maximum of about 90 degrees, right? I mean, we're not looking at much more than that. So here comes the sun, and it's like, okay, so what? Like, okay, it just rose, and now it's going to go this way and set. I was telling Dave, Austin, I bet you there's some rule, like when they put you inside these tents, you're not allowed to come out or something. like we lights out at 10 p.m., but you can't get up till 6 in the morning because the sun sets. I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I wouldn't doubt
Maybe
it.
so. It could be too dangerous to leave your tent if the staff's asleep in the middle of the night.
Right. You could get lost.
We should call and ask. Hey, will you pull up the video I showed you on Telegram while you're doing this?
Yeah.
Because you may have never seen it, and there were some people trying to pretend this was a slam dunk, and so of course, we just all pulled it up and we started looking at it, and we're like, why did you send me this? Do you people think about things like? Yeah. Okay. Now look, if you click on it, you see how you can move it around?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So this is a 360, and this is supposed to be
proof of some time.
Yeah, but look, you see, you just never even see the sun. It just clouds the whole time.
This is supposed to be the sun over here?
I don't know. Like now there's.
I realize, said this a million times. We believe in the 24-hour light because Coffee Cup Caustic shows that you can easily do that and that the light would stretch around. So we're not surprised if we see daylight for 24 hours. We just don't think the sun goes behind us, which I don't even see.
Okay, wait, here's the other one. Now, this was the one that they gave me as a real sun. Have you ever seen any of these 360 interactive ones?
No, I don't think that.
Okay, this is the one the guy claimed was a slam dunk. Yeah, okay. Now, look, you will see a sun. You do see a sun in here. But look at it. Watch it. Look at this.
The hell?
Look at that. Yeah, it's really sketchy.
I mean, give me a break. That's
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but if we were there, Dave, this would be obvious as could be. That
How obvious would it be?
What do you mean? So you think this is a balloon carrying around a light?
No, I don't think it's a balloon. I think it'd just be a projected light into the sky. It could be a projected light, and that's a nice blue sky day. But imagine if it was a kind of a hazy day. You'd be like, oh, there's the sun. It's behind the clouds. We can still see it, and the sun looks kind of fuzzy.
the real sun has to go by. It has to go to set, and then at the same time it sets, they've got to somehow put clouds up, then project a fake sun that perfectly matches the sun we were just watching, and shows in a infrared and a sun filter that it's the same, and then it has to rise correctly.
You're right. It's going to be
Go back. You see that line cut right through the middle? I get, that's how the 360 cams pitch together, I guess. So these lines are stitched all throughout the whole thing. I'm telling you right now, I'm giving it to the GLOBEBUSTERS. This is the best one they've ever given me. And the sun looks insane.
It does. It's like all weird. The sun would never look like that.
Now, I'm sure you could examine it really close, right, and find some type of glitch, right? Because they're putting you can see the lines. You can literally see the lines. You know how like it stitches together as a 360 cam?
Yeah, I wonder what happens if I download this. I have a downloader. I just want to see how it downloads that. Because I've got the, Pop Player plays 360 videos. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. No.
Just want to download, see if I can get, because you can change levels in there pretty easily. Because this does not look like the sun at all. First of all, why is it so big? What happened?
And what's going on with the shadows?
Oh, what was that?
Shadows.
It was at the end.
Was something. There's one shadow. I didn't see any shadows on part of that. It was very interesting.
Yeah, there's some shadows, but like that was that one part where the sun just looks super weird near the clouds, and it's like
this part, like this all like morphing. It's like I've never seen the sun ever. Look at that, how pixely that is. What kind of camera are they using?
This is a year ago. It's supposedly 8K VR 8K 1 year ago.
Yeah, who said that? Watch right here. Watch these clouds as they're just like all pixely. That's not 8K. Look at that.
The title says. The title of the thing says.
Wow, that is not 8K. Oh boy.
And there's no shadows there. Go back.
You see the reflection coming off the sun too? That little.
All right, hold on. I messed up. How do I get back to where I was? Back. Okay, play. Where at, Dave?
I was just looking like that. There are some shadows.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, where are the shadows of that thing?
Yeah.
Is there a shadow for this thing? Okay, I'm still watching that show now.
Well, I don't want the 360 cam because it's stitched together already. So like you could just do different days. I want to actually see.
No, it's like going through these pixels. Like that would never be the 8K. It's the biggest joke ever. 8K. 8K.
I know. Look at that flag. That looks like Super Nintendo flag. There's no way that's 8K.
And why did the shadow just? I just saw the shadow go from like here to here, and the sun move from here to here. Where did I see that shadow start? Here comes the shadow. It just moved like 180 degrees. Sun moved from here to here.
Oh wow, yeah.
That's weird.
That did not match the sun.
How hard is it to fake shadows? I mean, AI can draw anything you want now.
Not hard at all. Yeah, nowadays it's hard to believe any video.
The fact that we've caught them literally faking it multiple times. I mean, you wouldn't have to do that.
You're not going to have to prove. It's not our job to prove exactly how they faked it once you show that they're faking it. That's it. They're liars. It's like, how is it our job all of a sudden to be like, oh, well, they must have used this to fake this? No, it wouldn't be difficult. And anybody who acts like this would be difficult to fake is just lying to themselves.
Well, this was huge for me back in 2015 because there wasn't any footage of anything trying to do this. Like when people go to places, it's like, hey, I'm going to be the first scientist to do this, and I'm going to be the first scientist to do that. Well, they've been down there since the 30s, and nobody decided they were going to be the first person to actually record the 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
I go looking and looking and looking for all these webcams, don't find any of them. And then when I come out with Flat Earth stuff, Mark Sargent, so say the end of 2015, then they started pouring in, and people are like, see, here they are. It's like, no. I was looking for before this. It doesn't help me that now that I pointed out there's none that you're like, oh, here's some. It's like, where were they? How could they have not been in existence before? And then the other one we've all shown that they even have an interview with that guy saying, oh, well, the guy did stitch it together because we wanted to show a cohesive day. It's just like insane, ridiculous.
That's if you type in 24-hour sun times in Antarctica, you get Antarctica 24-hour sun, Josh Miller, 200,000 views. That's the one that's blatantly just looped back around. And then you have, if you type in 24-hour sun in Antarctica 360 time lapse, the first one that pops up is actually Alaska. So 24-hour sun time lapse in Antarctica, and you'll get the one you were talking about, right?
Time lapse in Antarctica.
Well, and yeah, that was on YouTube. So I mean, I don't.
Oh yeah, I got you. So this is the one that is the just ridiculous because I mean, like we didn't even think about the fact that this mountain has no snow on it, and this guy is like, oh, it's 12 o'clock midnight, and then the next scene starts and the mountain has all kinds of snow on it. It's just hilarious. Like they didn't think about that. Like okay, and then it's just the next clip is like click, and then this mountain has all kinds of sun on it, or it has all kinds of snow on it right there. It's like what? How many days did you wait before at the end of your little announcement? And then, yeah, as we've shown many times, and that's without question. If you kind of go right in, here's the best way to see it. Just look at this like cutout here, and then you kind of get this cutout. Just kind of remember that and these three little marks here, because when you rope around and it comes around again, it's the exact same. And it's supposed to be a continuous day, but if you go around here, then we're going to pause it hopefully around the same time. And it's right about there. So you can look. I'd have to go back a little bit, but you'll see it's exactly the same. I just have
and you can go frame by frame with the period and comma, but it's like and then now they've all admitted this one's fake now, but like I guess the part that's crazy is like they spammed it around as a victory lap for like over a year.
Right, and then it's like so funny because these guys, scientific people, are supposed to be skeptical. That's the whole thing about science is you're supposed to be skeptical, but not one of them looked into this video at all. It took flat earthers having to look at it and say, no, it's faked. So it's like, that's the problem with the world is that you've got even the people that so-called are scientific no longer have any skepticism at all. If it comes from the scientific body, they all buy it 100%. This is why they get away with saying, oh, we now know how warp drive works within our current physics. And we now know what gases are on all these planets. And we know this planet is orbiting this. It's just very easy when you've gotten total buy-in from your religious followers that anything you say is gospel. It's very simple. So, anyway.
Yeah, but then when it comes to the Arctic, right, you have all kinds of them.
Yeah, there's lots. Yeah. Oh, this is the one that I'm talking about. This is the one that, Wolfie 6020 loaded this? No way. This is the one that, I don't know if you've seen. This is like supposedly a 5-day. It's the only one I've ever seen to even attempt to do that. So it just shows it going in a circle around. And again, I mean, as far as shadows, I haven't really looked at it much because I was like, so there was none of the 1 day, but there's one of a 5-day. Okay. And I've tried to
tracks.
Yeah. I mean,
why do we need 5 days? Oh, it just keeps going over and over.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's the same day. I think the clouds are. I haven't really looked at it that closely, but it's like, so we were just asking for 1 day, and it's like, here's 5 days. But again, so what would this take? Is this camera's on like a azimuthal, whatever they're called? I mean, what is it called when you have the tracking? Mount. Yeah. Which I've never understood that anyway, because people like Wolfie try and say. I remember he used to say, oh well, my telescope tracks the sun, right? So it's like, and it moves 15 degrees an hour, and it's perfectly calculated, and that's how I know it's a globe. But then I started thinking about it with refraction and the way that they say when the sun sets, it's actually below the horizon. I'm like, wait, so if it actually was on a 15 degree an hour turning cycle, then it wouldn't stay with the sun because the sun refracts and goes in places. So it's like literally those telescopes are programmed to where the sun should be based on their model, which is just complete joke because that's not proof of anything. It's like, so
yeah, I have another one that you probably haven't seen. I put it in the chat.
Okay. Which chat?
Timestamped in the Skype chat.
Okay.
It's multiple 24-hour suns in Antarctica.
Multiple?
Yeah.
Where's the chat here?
Expand your window so you can see it.
I'm over here on this screen, but I don't see a chat. Hold on. More. Where's the chat at?
If your window's crunched, the chat button is hidden. You have to spread out the window.
I see it. Okay, so where are you at here? 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Okay.
There it is. There's 2 of them.
Wow, it's amazing.
Jump a little forward. There's 3.
How'd you do that?
It took me about 10 seconds.
It's impossible to fake.
Look, 3 suns.
And it even blinks out when it goes behind the pole there. That was nice.
Well, that's theirs on the bottom. I mean, I did that without any professional program. I did it in Final Cut Pro.
Wow. It seriously took you no time at all?
No time at all. I did the whole thing in 10 minutes.
Your skills have surpassed mine.
Just so you know, I wouldn't be able to do that.
It's too easy.
You could have had it dancing around and doing all the crazy stuff if you would have taken a few hours.
Yeah,
Could've
right.
looked
You
just
can
like that
get it
sun.
to track. You get to go up and down. But I figured theirs wasn't moving, so why should mine?
Right. The thing is, it's people have to recognize at this point now it's impossible to say that you could bank anything on video. Just impossible unless you trust the person doing it. I mean, hopefully people like Austin and I went down to Antarctica. Hopefully they would trust us that we're not down there programming something. We're not down there with Photoshop fixing up some video. But beyond
I heard Ranty is going to go in our place. He's going to go representing Flat Earth.
Oh yeah, that'll settle it.
I believe him for sure.
Yeah. Him or Jason and what's his boyfriend? Those two.
Oh, Ronnie, the real GLOBEBUSTERS.
We should just let Duffy, FDFE, McToon, and Ranty, and McKeegan, and Simon Dan, and Professor Dave all go for us, and we can probably, as long as they all go, we could probably trust them.
Yeah.
The collective trust there is equal to like multiple. It's like equal to thousands.
It's like telling my daughter not to go play with the little pool balls. Like she just immediately goes to the pool balls, bro. You know.
Oh boy, it's just too funny. I mean, these guys, it's always the case that the same thing happens over and over again. And that's what I noticed with the debates. I actually thought like, oh, if I moderate, we'll actually get somewhere. We are getting nowhere because it's the same guys saying the same lies every time.
Right.
What
hey, Austin, what's the explanation for the analemma having the big circle in the south? Is there a globe explanation for it?
Yeah, they're just gonna say it's just apparent based on the tilt of the Earth and the orbit, the ecliptic of the sun.
Oh, great.
I mean, that's how they got it. That's how they got the model, right? They took what the sun moves around. And they said, "Oh, the sun's not moving around. It looks like it is because we are."
But can't you calculate if you were to do a calculation? Doesn't it show that the sun moves around the southern loop much faster of an analemma?
I don't know.
I think it. Well, I think
it's bigger. It looks like a small figure 8 head with a much wider one at the bottom, and then it's reversed from the south.
So when it goes around the small head, though, it's slower.
Yes.
Right? And then it has to speed up and go through the bottom loop, which to me is because the sun moves faster in the south.
Yeah.
No way.
Am I wrong about
that? You have to be wrong, yeah, because the Earth can't be flat. So that means the sun can't be going faster in the south.
Let's get analemma here. This is a good one. Again, it's hard to know. You basically have to go out at the same time every day, right? So you just choose a time, or does it have to be a certain time? Oh, this says 4:40 p.m. It says date and time of image. I think to build, you'd have to do one at the same. Yeah, so 24
I think it
hours
has to be specific times. Yeah. You know what's crazy is I feel so stupid now that I responded to that email with like this total good faith thing. I'm like, dude, like, are you new to this? Have you seen all the times that they lie? We're not the ones lying. They're faking footage. They're acting like it never happened. They went around claimed it was real, but then we caught them lying, and they just pretend it's not a big deal and like it never happened. They put us in hit pieces. Da, da, da. I'm like, we need final edit rights of anything recorded. We need to be able to bring whatever we want to. We need all expenses paid. We need full transparency and disclosure. And now I find out that these people are just like weirdos. They're working with like anti-flat earthers to lie the entire time. I think it's funny to just troll and lie. You're a grown man. Aren't you guys married? Aren't all three of them married?
Yeah.
How weird is that, bro? You're married. And you're like, hey, man, let's meet up on Zoom today. We're going to troll these flat earthers and lie to them. They won't know that we actually know each other. And
yeah, it's so weird. It's like they must think that we're lesser than human. It's the only way you would treat people like that. It's the only way that you would think it's okay to like collude behind closed doors. I mean, to me at least, I don't treat people that way.
As a preacher, though?
My enemy like that, you know? That's just weird.
September 1st. I'm just trying to see if the date, because I don't know if they consider the middle of the analemma like the middle of it or where it crosses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get the date of each of those crossings, because if it is just moving faster through the south, then it does seem like such a good evidence or such good proof of the flat Earth. But if the middle of it is actually higher, which I thought is what they must say. Let me see if I can figure out what.
It's one thing I've actually gotten every Glober to concede on. If like say the twilight's shorter in the south, 6 months apart at equal latitudes, right? So northern and southern latitude,
right?
And Like, just make sure I understand what I'm saying. Like, you have say 30 degrees north latitude, 30 degrees south latitude, 6 months apart. Since the Earth's supposedly a sphere, it should be symmetrical. You should have the same amount of twilight, right? And but on a flat Earth, if the sun has to go a little faster in the south, you could have a shorter twilight. And almost every glober has just kind of admitted it. But then I made a joke and I said, dude, no, because we go and prove it. They're going to say southern hemispheric refraction. And then we all laughed. And someone started saying it a day later. And they started literally trying to, they're like, but there's more water and less land there. And so there's less pollution. So there's different refraction. And that would explain it. And that was because I said there actually is testimony accounts already of that happening. Like the sellers that say it happens, you know? And that's what, so he thought it was something that he had to come up with an explanation for the globe. And he started saying southern hemispheric refraction. I'm like, this is just insane. What in the world?
So September 1st is.
I still think that's a good test, though.
Yeah, I think, well, the only problem with it is it's very subjective. We'd have to find some way of actually calculating it, because what happens is people use it. They have to decide for themselves. When do I consider it not dark anymore? When do I consider the
measure
sun dark?
lumens, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. If you had a lumen meter, I think you'd be able to do that.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
September 1st is when it crosses this way. And then I just want to see where it comes. Oops. I just don't know if it crosses. So we should be 6 months later right here, but I don't think that's the way it works. So what did I say? September 1st. So 6 months would be September, October, November, December, January.
Yeah,
February.
now you just broke my brain again, Jeran, with this. I never even noticed this about the Analema. Because it's like April. It looked like it was around May. Oh, no, April. Okay, that makes more sense.
April 13th?
May, June, July, August, September. No, that's still only 5 months to September.
Yeah, September, it seems like it's 7 and 5. September,
Yeah.
November, December, January, February, March, April.
Why would it cross 5 and 7?
It's 8 months, 8 months, 13 days.
Maybe it depends on your latitude. Is this taken from the north?
Yeah, I mean, it's taken from the north. I don't know where, though. But yeah, it's so you're saying that if that were true, then this head would grow and shrink based on where you were on the Earth, right?
But I don't know if that's true, because
Here,
I know Iru has shown it from the south, and the top part is real big and long, and the bottom part is short. So it's just like the reverse of this, looking from the other direction. It's not as if his top part is real short and the bottom is real long.
Oh, let's listen to Bob the Science Guy. He knows all things. Wait, I have to point this out.
Like,
Bob
how do
is
how do people know who that is?
this guy?
Yeah. Like, how, think about it in the grand scheme of the world. Like, how do people know who that is? This is why they're obsessed with this, because you would never know that guy existed. How does everyone know who that is when we say his name? It's ridiculous.
He said the funniest thing of all time on my debate show when he got frustrated with Flatzoid, and he says, "I'm not here to debate you." On my debate show, said, "I'm not here to debate you."
Yeah. He's the worst, man.
Analema of the moon? No. Somebody else said something crazy I couldn't believe. They said, "Oh, and then sometimes Antarctica goes months without seeing the moon." Could that be true?
Yeah, Analema of the moon is weird. It does the analemma, but it like rotates on its long axis. Not like spinning in the sky like a wagon wheel, but it looks like it's spinning like a cylinder. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Which
the other
breaks my brain even more.
Yeah, and the weird thing, because the moon should happen then, and how quick?
I think you have to take off 48 minutes or something like that each day.
Oh, got you. To get to show the analema.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the sun analema, it is. I'm trying to think of how. Have you seen the cathedrals and the churches that have the skylight that shows it on the ground?
No.
No.
Let me see. Cathedral. There's all these Catholic churches that have these windows that are church. Maybe to put like this is one. It's basically on the ground of these churches, and then the light comes in and writes the date and time on the ground. I don't know how much see of it. Analema church floor or something. I don't know what I have to look for it. But they're hugely ornate and beautiful. Analema. Hey, we know her. She spoke at our event. What's her name again? Olivia Friend or something. I don't remember. I don't see the ones I'm talking about. What's this one? The Sons of Amalima. Basically, they have churches where this is like on the floor, and as it goes through the year, it writes this out on the ground every day at the same time. This guy's trying to explain it. Anyway, I'll look into some of that stuff because I do think the Analima is crazy, and I actually didn't know it flips. So you're saying it does flip? He's shown it to have the smaller head on the south, on the bottom.
Yeah, on the bottom, Iru. I forget when it was. He's shown stuff so many times, but yeah, he showed it. He said it was reversed from the south.
Well, Zach, when you're in the south, the part that we look at as the bottom, the farthest part away from us, so it looks lower, is the highest part for them because it's closer. So the big circle will be at the top for them, and the small circle will be far away.
Yeah, which
from
makes
them.
me think it's not perspective determining where that line crosses. It's just weird. It crosses at 5 months and then 7 months. I don't get that. That breaks my brain.
Perfect sense on a flat Earth. Everything makes sense on a flat Earth, except McToon
and flat Earth hot sauce. Oh no, that does make sense.
That makes perfect sense. That proves flat Earth.
My bad.
Except for sunsets.
The sunsets don't make any sense. How would you explain a sunset? How come everything's not burned up if the Earth's flat? I don't see any videos that I want to. All right. Anyway, that's basically it. I do want to look into the Analima. I'm writing myself some notes here because So Dave, you're saying that it makes sense that the small end is because it's above their heads, and then the far away distance would be the north, which is why it's longer.
No. In the south, you're going to have the big end is going to be up high, and the small end is going to be low.
Okay.
Because the small end is the north, and it's over the north. Just think where the X is over the equator.
You mean the middle where they cross?
Yeah, the middle where they cross.
So the Analima from the equator should just be an infinity symbol.
It should no. It's going to have a smaller one in the north and a bigger one in the south because it's making a bigger circle in the south and it's making a smaller circle in the north.
So on the equator, then we should see a bigger circle.
Go look at an old globe that has an Analima on it. It shows you exactly that. A smaller circle north of the equator and a bigger circle south of the equator.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, this is where they get this is where they do again. That's where they got the tilt, though, right? Yeah, they got the tilt from the sun.
8.5 inches per mile is written on the globe, and June's like, "No, it's not. No, there's no such thing. Show me the globe." The guy grabs the globe and shows him. He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's on someone."
And then everyone just pretends it didn't happen. Like, why do we act like this guy isn't insane? That's what I want to know. Can you believe in the globe without supporting someone that's like patently insane? Like, I don't know. Like, Kai's convinced that if I get on a big enough show, he's going to put a hit out on me or something. I'm like, bro, this guy plays with Space Wars, what is it called? Star Wars Legos.
That video that I think Robot Polisher made of those guys gooing and guying over their Lego models of the space shuttle and stuff.
Yeah.
Him, Globey McGlobeface.
I meant Dan.
It was the douchiest thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
I mean, Dan does a whole video putting it together, talking about, oh my gosh, it's so incredible.
And I wanted to show you mine has lights on the bottom. Oh, it's just shocking. I was thinking that they're trolling us.
Almost like it's almost like they're playing a character. It's okay.
Yeah, it is. It's like that. It is like they were hired to do this or something. It's hard for me to know exactly what, because I could see it being that they're just so in love with their own smarts. They think that they're so smart because they got a degree, and that's the only reason I see it. Although Globey McGlobeface, he doesn't have a degree, does he?
But don't you guys think though that like, so you see that I've made it very clear I'm not talking to McToon, and so he's tried everything under the sun, everything you can think of. Run the narrative that I'm
debaters.
Yeah, proxy debaters is his last move because he's run the narrative of like, oh, he's scared, and then he'll take things out of context and claim I challenged it but ran away, and he'll call me a liar, and he'll slander me, and he'll talk about my daughter, and he'll talk about my wife. He's trying to bait me into interact because he knows that I'll step up and like be like, okay, I'm going to clear my name. I'm going to clear my family's name. So that's what he's trying to do. And he sees that I just don't care. And the truth is, I don't even know it exists. People are like, hey, did you hear what McToon said about you? I was like, of course not. Of course I didn't, right? He's doing a stream cover. Of course he is. He gets the most views and the most super chats when he watches my stuff, and it's stupid and lame, and I don't care. And so then now what does he do? He tries to prevent me from being able to get on other shows, thinking that I'd have to default to talking to him again or something. No, I wouldn't. I'll talk to myself on my stream. All right, I don't have to talk to you. So it's like, that's why he's going insane. That's why he's going insane.
Experiment, the scoreboard. It's so McToon came up with that. The scoreboard. You know, they're trying to goad us into participating. It's so stupid.
But he can't go. He can't go though, Dave.
Are you sure they're not trying to goad us into not participating so that the score is just lopsided?
Yeah. Well, either way. It's either way.
Either way.
But this is what I want to know. Like, are we not in support of me doing a boxing match? Here.
No, I'm not.
I would love it,
dude.
dude.
You're like, yo, you guys think I'm joking.
Love it, but I'm not
I
supporting
like
it.
hand-to-hand.
You're not going to support it. You're going to take the high road.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you're going to take the high road now.
Yes, I am. I'm in support of your wife. Doesn't want you to do it either. So I'm taking.
I haven't asked her about the boxing match. I think she thinks it would be funny.
I'll say whatever she says.
I am pretty sure that guy would think the boxing match would be hilarious. Here, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen with you guys.
Get her on the phone.
Kidney shot.
Get her on the phone.
Real fast. I'm going to take the screen share from you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just looking at Annalima stuff.
And then let me come over. So, because this is what I'm saying. Like, they want us to go so bad. It's like, okay, I'll meet you halfway. You know what I'm saying?
What's halfway?
Beat me in a boxing match. I'll go.
No.
If McToon beats me in a boxing match.
Completely ignoring these guys. Jeran, you're done debating them. Let's just, would people still know who they are if we didn't host them?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Well, they can know him for being in a boxing match with me, though.
Can't they just send me $45,000 and then I'll book my own trip? I'll do it. I don't want them to be in charge of the flight.
India said that this is 2018 all over again. I guess someone took some money or something.
Yeah, Greater Sapien did a crowdfund for that, some sort of trip that was supposed to do that. I was supposed to go. What was it, Dave? Like a flight around the Earth or something?
That's a Glober.
Some southern flight, yeah, and he took the money.
All right, guys, check this out. Check this out. Tell me if I should box him after this video.
He needs to get punched in the face every time he lies. How about that?
I mean, bro, how is it not the only logical conclusion?
He determines every time you lie, by the way. He's the ultimate scoreboard god.
Totality is different every time. They don't repeat, they're all unique.
Up to the eclipse, even in like the mainstream perfect model and all this stuff, right? Because it isn't about the model, it's about the sun and moon. They have a cycle that there's a
what an absolute bastard liar.
I mean, is this not like want to throw hands language?
Yeah, it is. It's comedy to me because it's not talking to me. If it was talking to me, I definitely. That's the only reason I find it funny is because I guess I forget that he's talking to you.
I also find it funny, but like I will say, I went and showed Kai, and like she was like. She took it serious. Yeah. Like she was like, this dude's demonically possessed, and like he needs to be like he needs to get in trouble. Like because she was like he needs to be watched. You know.
That's why if people don't know, the other day I started thinking I'm going to challenge both these guys to take an IQ test because I'm not going to listen to Toon keep calling Austin stupid. It's the most insane claim I've ever heard. Is like Globers going around saying Austin's stupid. It's like what? Like okay, people are smart enough to know when somebody's stupid. And when somebody has intelligence. So if you're going to go around calling somebody stupid, then you have to be able to beat him in an IQ test, or else you're just a liar. And like, I don't think Toon would win. And Toon goes around calling him a moron. It's like you can only make claims or challenge somebody if you can beat them at that challenge, right? You're not going to go around and call somebody slow. I'm not going to call anybody slow when they could clearly beat me in a race. And like these guys feel okay with calling people dumb that could clearly beat them in an IQ test. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but like he would never do that. You know, maybe this is why he's really starting to go hard on the I'm a con man liar, but you know you're lying, right? And that because that's like ramped up the last few weeks. They're all saying I know the Earth's not flat and I'm a liar and stuff because if you can't claim we're stupid, then you just claim we know the Earth's not flat and we're trying to make money. And it's like, dude, I could have, buddy, let me just let you know, and without any specifics, I have been offered opportunities to speak and have shows, but not talk about flat Earth. I could make so much more money not talking about flat Earth. That is a fact. And so if you want to lie and pretend that like I don't have the ability to be articulate or entertaining or, you know, reveal information in a captivating way, you can run that game if you want to. But we both know I can talk about normie news. I can talk about just like kind of like surface level truther stuff, right? Not talking about FE. I could do a show. I could have a show, and I could get paid to do it. So like the fact you guys run that narrative,
Austin.
Yeah, that was a bunch of. That's true. That's true.
A lot of word salad.
But don't you think it's weird though, bro? Like that they live in this world. It's like no, flat Earth sucks. Absolutely sucks for me when it comes to money. Like, what are you talking
I
about?
like the IQ test, Jeran. I like the IQ test.
Well, it's just, and again, it's like he won't ever do it because there's a lot more at stake for him, who's got a degree, to go up against somebody who's been calling a moron, rather than Austin, who goes up against.
What about this?
Got,
he has to agree to delete his channel if he loses.
in an IQ test?
Yeah.
Nice.
That'd be great.
Okay, if he'll agree,
How are you going to moderate him doing an IQ test?
We're gonna have we're gonna find a way to ensure a real deal third party
in person.
Sure, in person.
Only way he gets his channel back is if he boxes Austin and beats him.
This is getting better by the minute. And then at the end of all that, I'll go to Antarctica with him and FCFE. So
they're not
after
going.
He beats you.
Dude, don't you think it'd be worth it if we could get him to just shut up? I mean, sure, we can ignore him, but like there are people that go through Cogdis when they hear this, and they go to people like him, and he should be disgusted with himself. If he thinks the Earth's a globe, he should still be disgusted with himself, right? Because the way that he behaves, the way that he lies, what he does is he tricks people into making up their mind or making a decision based on false information. Right? Like he leaves stuff out, he omits stuff, he strawmans flat Earth, he slanders us, he misrepresents us, he tries to make us poison the well by making us like out to be these terrible people. He's just like a degenerate through and through, and he's tricking people in because people are in a very fragile, desperate state of mind to have the globe confirmed to them when they first hear about this, right? Like the average person's like, this can't be true, this is too much for me, this is too heavy, I don't have time for this, I don't have time to invest how much time is required to like look into this enough, right? I need someone to just tell me how stupid it is. I need someone to tell me how easy it is to know it's not true. And that's where he comes in, right? And the way that he does it is so dishonest, so deceptive. He lies about everything. He said, like the eclipse thing, right? He's getting the reason he's like that about the eclipse is because what I said is true. Not only was it wrong, but it doesn't use anything to do with the model, right? You have a projection. It can go from a globe to a plane, ellipses or circles, doesn't matter. You have a transform from the stationary Earth or Earth that's allegedly flying with relativity, doesn't matter. And then the actual predictions come from the cycles, and they come from the periodicity and the ascension, the inclination angles to the moon, all from a geocentric position. And you can have that all on a plane, and you actually take an angle measurement to the moon as if the Earth is flat, right? So like, there's no reason to say that it has nothing to do with the heliocentric model. Nothing. And then he's the kind of person that would lie and say, well, that's not true. They have to account for how fast the Earth moves around the sun. Like, no, what they do is account for the annual precession that they attribute to the Earth moving around the sun, right? Like, that. What do you like? Oh, they have to account for the tilt of the Earth. No, they account for the ecliptic of the sun, claiming that it's actually the tilt of the Earth, right? None of it's exclusive to a spinning globe. And he just lies to these people, and he makes it out as if he brings up like specific technical names of certain things that throw him off, that really the eclipse can only be predicted on a heliocentric model. And so I don't know. To me, that's like, I don't know. That's like deserving of being like punished because I don't like let people think there's a globe, but like let them hear what the flat earthers actually say. Right?
It just hit me right now, and I went and checked, and I'm right. So I told Toon that they changed the eclipse path, and I've got the messages right here. So he knew about it. So when you talked about it on the debate, and then he goes through that whole meltdown where he's calling you a liar, I'd already shown him the screenshots showing this is before that ever happened.
Wow. I thought he was faking there. I could just tell by the way he was saying it.
I said, I think it was announced the path had changed because the size of the sun was wrong. I'll find the article. He says, I have not seen that. He said, there are more than Fred's predictions, a very, very little. So then I sent him a screenshot of the article that says, new map shows eclipse paths shift further away from Kokomo or whatever. So I said, so the path shifted and the times and who would be in totality. Then I saw you post that it was predicted perfectly to the second. That's my GPS is always right with the time I'll be arriving. LOL. Big deal. It's just adjusted constantly. Right. I don't know if you guys know that my GPS is always right. Wherever I'm driving, it always gives me the exact time that I arrive. because it changes throughout my drive, right? Which is what they do with the eclipse. It's the same thing. And
Wait. This is crazy. Okay, so like you sent it to him,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna make sure
because he was bragging about how they could predict down to the second. And
So he
now
did-
what he said in this video right here, what he said in this video where he turns into a demon, literally a demon possesses him. If they're real, it was in him. And so he said, then right after that, he starts talking about how I don't work and I just lie and I send my wife out to work. Send my wife out. What? You don't know anything about my life, dude. You're dumb. And then he says no, there are just 3 different primary systems that they use to predict eclipses, and they're all within 100 feet of each other. Dude, they said that they changed the eclipse prediction by up to a mile. And all along, north and south, all along it. Not 100 feet, a mile. He's saying that they didn't change it at all, and that there's just 100 feet difference between 3 different systems that we always use, and we can predict it perfectly. No. They changed it unexpectedly, and they changed it by up to a mile. And then there are even articles coming out saying they were wrong about the angular size of the sun. And I do have to go soon, but let me point this out just so you guys know. It's like if you read it, it'll say like a really small amount of arc seconds, and they'll be like, "Oh, it barely changed any at all." Dude, that's a huge deal because in the globe model, I always flip it back on them. We're like, why doesn't the angular size of the sun change? In the globe model, it changes 0.08 arc seconds up to high noon and then changes back down another 0.8 arc seconds. Because obviously the sun's a little bit closer to you on a sphere, right? Like on a sphere right above you, it's a little bit closer than when it's down at the horizon. So it's changes 0.08 arc seconds to high noon, then back 0.08 arc seconds. And they've always said that's too small to measure. Well, now they're claiming that they're measuring the sun with a way higher precision than 0.08 arc seconds, which means you should be able to measure that happening every single day. And by the way, if the sun does not change exactly 0.08 arc seconds up to high noon, then another 0.08 arc seconds, that's a geometric refutation of the globe. It's a falsification of the globe, no way around it. So that's like a major problem for them because now they're saying that they absolutely have the ability to measure the sun with way higher precision than even the 0.08 arc seconds. So I find that to be very fascinating.
If the eclipse it predicted everything predicted by the globe and then it moves a little bit, well, they have to give a reason for it. So they can't tell you that the reason for it is because they didn't know. So their reason is, we had the size of the sun wrong. Now that's something nobody can go verify. This is what they always do. And the Globers eat it up. They don't even pay attention to the fact that, what they just said is undebunkable. How can we say, no, it's not because of the size of the sun? We can't say that because they claim that's why it had to move.
It's even more than that, though, Jeran. This is why they did that. Because the truth is, no, it's because the moon isn't exactly consistent or constant. And it's when it starts to get closer to you, you can get a better idea of exactly where the moon's going to be.
Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
That's why I compare it to my GPS. As I'm driving in my car, it tells me I'm going to get there at 11:20. Now, when I get there, it says I'm going to get there 11:41 because it's 11:41 and because it adjusted the entire time I was driving. So, of course, when I get closer to my event, it's going to be more accurate.
You can Google it. Time and date will tell you the same thing. I'm putting it in the video. I'm putting together a quick little video, but time and date will literally tell you that the closer you get to the eclipse, the more accurate the prediction, right? Like it says right here. Let me find it because I think this is important, right? It says right here, the closer the eclipse is in time, the more reliable the calculated times are. In terms of the location of the moon's shadow during solar eclipses, the margin of error may sound pretty large at first. That's time and date. Okay, then it's just like over and over, it changed. Eclipse path predictions become more accurate closer to the event because astronomers wait until a few weeks before the eclipse to gather the most reliable forecasts of parameters. These parameters include the moon's orbital path, orbital inclination, Earth's rotational speed, and Earth's tilt. Okay, that's actually just sidereal rotation of the stars that they claim is because the Earth is spinning, and the Earth's tilt is just based on the sun. That should be consistently 23.4. We should have supposedly we don't feel the Earth spinning because it's constant. But the truth is the sidereal rotation can slightly speed up, and the Earth's tilt, that where the sun is, it does its own thing, right? The moon's orbit, it does its own thing. It's not this perfect heliocentric model where they know exactly where everything's going to be based on gravity and mass. The orbital path, the inclination, the sidereal rotation, and then the ecliptic of the sun slightly changes. They don't even start making eclipse predictions, those exact path predictions, until within a few weeks to get the very accurate ones. He has some book that gives you some estimate, and he wants to act like it's 100%. No, it's it's a general estimate based on like a more generalized orbit of the moon, a generalized inclination, and they have to change it.
And the flat Earth could do.
Yeah, but then my point is like, so that's what I was talking about. I'm not even talking about this made up story about the sun that they came up with recently. It's like, no, this always happens with every eclipse. It gets more and more accurate the closer it gets because they're like, oh, there's exactly where the inclination is going to be. And then the other major problem is they don't have a three body equation. They have an approximation.
Then you wouldn't need Fred Aspernack to do all their calculations. You would be able to do it easily with a computer that knows the gravity of all the planets and knows the sun and moon's path, and then it would just be able to figure out when the eclipses are and where they'll be. Why would you need to have some guy do it? Never made sense to me. And it's the reason why is because it's much more involved than that. And it's not just something simple like, oh, you just need to know that it's a globe and then all eclipses are predicted. No, that's not the case. There's something else that goes into it. So
the only part, Dave, so you know, this only part that ever did get me trapped up. It's because I know that people will say McToon's their best debater. And McToon, he's so deluded and like demented. You know, the gloves are off. He's like talking about my family again. Like that dude. Anyway, I will box him. I'm just saying. So for charity or something. But like the only reason I ever got trapped is because people think that he really knows what he's talking about, and he's like so insane and has no morals that he'll like very passionately and convincingly lie. Like if you never watched us explain the other side of it or never saw the other side of it, and you listen to that like demonic outburst, you'd be like, wow, dude, Witsit really sucks me, you know? Like this guy, like he's made McToon get so mad. Yeah. And McToon like makes it sound like he knows what he's talking about, and I'm just lying. No. So at times I'm like, no, you sit down with me live and let's talk about what parameters do we actually use to predict the eclipse? Is it the orbital inclination and orbital path of the moon? Is that exclusive to the eccentric model? Like when you actually broke it down, right, he'd be completely exposed. And so that's what used to trap me in there. But then I found out, even if I completely expose him, where he starts lying, double speaking, mumbling, interrupting, screaming, freaking out, that the same people that watch him will just keep watching him and acting like it never happened. So then it's no point.
It's like little teenagers, I think. And it's people that are afraid to actually ever confront anybody, right? Those are the kind of people that would gravitate to him, to where they're afraid to ever speak up or anything. And then they've got this guy that's shooting down somebody, calling him dumb. And it invites people that are dumb to get to call somebody dumb. And they love that. They just love it because they never thought they'd have that moment in their life. And that's what Flat Earth has brought these people, is people who are dumb, who think now that like, oh, somebody's saying something so dumb that I can actually make fun of them. And it just looks ridiculous because they're wrong. And they don't know what they're talking about. And so they have to have that one guy, FTFE's one of them, McToon's the other, that they have to have this guy they can go to that they think knows all the answers. And if he's calling them dumb, then they're safe in calling us dumb. That's what I think.
Yeah. And it's all crazy because like I said earlier, it's like if someone has to constantly brag about their ability to do an algebra equation, they aren't smart. Smart people just intuitively can do math, pattern recognition, and they just move on because they think, well, what am I doing? Is this real life? No one cares. You know, like I'm just saying it's funny because humbly as possible, right? Like I had an aptitude for math. I got selected out of classes and asked to do all these certain things. I'd never show my work, blah, blah, blah. But I would never like go around and talk about how awesome I am because I could do math. That makes me smart. It doesn't make you smart. If you're super... if you're bragging about your ability to solve a math equation, you aren't smart. That means that you equate intellect with getting the solution. So that's the irony, is what you said is completely true. It's like, it's actually a group of people that aren't necessarily that smart. And this is their opportunity to pretend like they're smarter than someone else.
Smart people don't need to make fun of other people to feel smart at all. It's
right.
Like nothing in there, nothing inside them would ever wouldn't even make them feel smart or make them feel dumb.
Because even if there's someone else that's stupid, that doesn't mean you're smart. Like, what does that even mean? It's weird. Let me read.
What about a 2-on-1, Austin? What about Professor Dave?
Yeah, I'll do
and
it.
McToon.
I'll do it.
Just to even out the odds a little bit, because
I'll
even if you do it for charity, there's no making money on it. The odds would be, 100 to 1. You're gonna just destroy them.
But I supposedly he taught jiu-jitsu or something.
Down, you wouldn't make anything.
I've never done any martial arts.
Yeah, I've seen
play
all these karate experts.
Plays Ultimate Frisbee. Damn. So I'm kind of not joking, but I always do this, but I have to do a debate. Let's read the super chat if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, people just need to watch their mouth when you are making threats against somebody. You better be ready to fulfill those, or you better be ready to, if this guy needs to be punched in the face every time okay, well then be ready to do that.
Literally, like, dude, how about this? We'll raise money. We'll fly you out to Tampa. I'll try to call around to get us some connects. We'll get us a gym. We'll put some cameras up. We'll have PPV. We'll do it. We'll do the whole thing. I'm not joking at all. And and if you lose the IQ test or the boxing match, you have to delete your channel, and you have to apologize for being demonically possessed. All right. Okay. Tracy said, "You guys have definitely hit a nerve. Looney Tune has lost the plot. Thanks for everything you do." Thank you for the $25 tip, Tracy. And actually, I will say, well, based on what she's saying, like Dave's been right the whole time. What made him lose the plot and lose his mind like this was just ignoring him. Like him having to watch, like him not being able to stop other platforms from having me on, or him not being able to stop us, doing what we're doing, and us ignoring him. That's what's made him go so crazy. Because like for him, his objective was make sure they never get out to the public. So as it's happening, he's freaking out, and that's that's my opinion. So I think that Dave's right.
He's gonna freak out in the next week and a half because at the end I'm gonna announce some things that are happening, and he ain't gonna like it.
I don't think he's gonna like what I'm about to announce either. Richard B, congratulations on the book, Zack. Thanks, Jeran, Austin, Dave, and Zack for all you do for FE. Thank you for the $25 tip.
Richard.
And yeah, shout out to my boy Zack. Zack, tell me where to get it. I'll buy it and I'll push it on my my channel.
Oh yeah, you can get it on Amazon right now, and they have it for paperback or Kindle. If you just type in either my name or "Why Are the Stars," it'll pop right up.
Nice. Bradley Trehalt, thank you for the very generous donation, $100. Love you all, but I'm taking my son to the park. I'll listen to the rest this evening. See you around. Thank you so much for the very generous donation. That's half the goal by yourself. So shout out to you, Bradley. Hopefully you enjoy the show when you follow up. Yeah, thank you again. Very, very generous. All right, November. I think it's telling that the loudest voices in the anti-flat Earth community are also the most awful, dishonest, and degenerate people. You are all good, honest, humble truth seekers, and we are so lucky to have you represent our community. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the $10 and the kind words, November. I think that kind of goes to furthering supporting like Dave's position, right? It's like I know a lot of people that would be very mad at me if I actually boxed McToon.
Yeah. And I get why.
Listen, sometimes you got to poke the bear. We poked the bear for the last couple of days. Now let's just go do what we do best.
I agree. I actually agree. Because I actually forget that he exists until stuff like this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not cute cop. And that's why they pulled us in. This final experiment got our attention for a second, right? So we should just move right back on. I wonder if people that eat cow poop get hungry when they see Austin's face. Do people eat cow poop?
There's hair just coming out of manure.
Yeah, dude, that was a slam dunk. Manure face liars is what it says. Thank you for the tips. And Adam, please add this to the anti-demon fund. Mad love, guys. And very, very generous $100.
And what is it with the bastard call? What does it have to do with your dad?
I don't know. But I don't even know. Dude, my dad, I don't think my dad's FE and would hate you. So whatever that's worth. But thank you for the $100 tip, Adam, bro. Very, very generous. Yeah, came in the clutch, got us over the mark. All right, so shout out to Adam, big supporter. Shout out to Bradley, both really big donations. Shout out to everyone else that supported on Ko-fi. And I can check Rockfin.
Yeah, there's a few of them, all by one gentleman, Mr. Leland Wilt. Thank you, Leland.
Yeah, 3 different $5 tips from Leland Wilt. Thank you so much, brother. All right, cool. I got to take a shower for this debate thing. So,
which debate is tonight?
So I'm doing the debate on the Lore Lodge on YouTube. Almost 500,000 subs.
Against who?
Against the guy that runs that channel, the Lore Lodge.
Oh, okay.
Where do we find that link?
It's on my X, but I'll drop it in the YouTube as well. If you go to the Lore Lodge, it should be.
How are you saying for what lodge?
LORE.
Okay.
Let's see if it's scheduled. Yeah, there it is. The Great Heliocentrism Debate. He changed it from, it did say Flat Earth. All right, this is even worse for him. All right, I'll drop the... You know what else Kai said? I guess I'll say this. She's like, dude, he'd be so mad if he like saw your real life. It's like, oh, I have this really big debate. And like, you don't prep for it at all. And I'm like, yeah, dude, they like... I don't know. It's just they don't get it. They don't get that. Like, we just have the truth, so we don't have to worry. It's like if we misspeak, it's like, by the way, guys, I got that wrong. Like, oh my gosh, it's not the end of the world.
No, but we're also
it's so much easier
to do these things, right? I mean, we're actually doing something, whereas everybody else just reading. If you just read a physics book every day, guess what? You're never wrong. You just get to just sit there and be like, I'm always right because I'm just reading out of this book, and anything that comes from outside this book is false. It's like you are holding back humanity.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Xander and Stephanie. They came to Vegas from the Netherlands last year, and they're building their first Pharaoh cell. So they're actually getting hands-on, and I was trying to walk them through it a little bit yesterday, and they're finding, sometimes it doesn't work out the way you want, and you got to try more things. That's what this is all about. If something doesn't work, then play with it some more and, mix it up with something else. That's what this is about, learning, not going and reading it out of a book, but hands-on, And
I don't care if I'm wrong, but when you're wrong, you should be excited because at least you're now right. Right? I mean, that's what is a learning experience. If you're wrong about
you learned.
Now you're right because now you know the truth or now you know the actual answer. So I don't have a problem with it like everybody else seems to. And there's people I see get caught up on their channel who will never get off of a subject. I won't mention any names, but there's people in our own community that once they've stated a certain way, they're going to stay there till the end of time because they're so afraid of just saying, oops, I was wrong about that.
Yeah, it sucks. It's the worst place to be, man. We all had to come out of that to know the Earth's flat. Why do that with anything else?
Yeah, so I get here and then do the same thing. Yeah, because what it does, it creates this problem for me that I look at YouTube and I see, man, to really do well on YouTube, you have to be a liar. That's what you have to be. That's who does the best on YouTube. It's the people out there telling the truth or not, because they might get some things wrong. They have to correct themselves, and that's not seen as a positive on YouTube. It's the opposite. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, Witsit said this in 2012. This is the debate, by the way. There's a vote, there's a poll. Everyone go poll and just answer it honestly. But it says, who do you expect to win, the Lower Lodge or Witsitgetsit? 58-42. But it should be interesting. That is a big channel. You see here, 450,000 subs. Yeah, should be interesting. All right, let's go around panel. Does anyone want to go first?
I'll go first. I did nothing major coming up this week. I don't think. I think there is a debate on Tuesday, possibly, and I'll have some other stuff coming out as some things happening this week. So it should be exciting. That's about it for me.
Oh, cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? I said that's it for me.
You said there's some other stuff happening. All right.
Yes.
And go check out Jeran's stream last night if you want more of the details, the breakdowns that go through the streams and the videos. You want to see what's really going on with this whole thing.
Yeah, you got the gist of it. Enough.
All right, let me share screen real quick. Remember that picture, the 700 miles video that Taboo put out?
Yeah.
700 miles of the mountains, the Alps. That picture was pretty degraded, and some listeners sent me the original picture. I'm sharing screen right now.
Okay, you have to give me a sec.
Yeah. Someone sent me the original picture, so I
mountaintops.
Yeah, they're mountaintops. And it's a super high-res picture, so it's awesome. And if anybody needs to show that to somebody, it's in the app in the photo section. Just
the full size.
What's that?
Do you have the full size image on the app?
Well, it's pretty big. It's better than what we had before. I have the full size image. If anyone needs it, just email me. I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
without the stuff on it. I'll give you both. No problem. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then did you show that on screen? Yeah, you did. And then one other thing. Let me share screen again. I'm going to be in the UK in Dorset. The June 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, 4-day festival. It's $160 for all 4 days. So anyone that's going to the UK, lives in the UK, wants to travel there, it's going to be great. Me and Ian Lee here are going to be there. Trinity 4, Dave is going to be there. We got 4 days. I bought 500 flat earth pins, and we're giving people a pin when we turn them into a flat earther. Nobody leaves without becoming a flat earther. That's the goal, right? Later this week, I'm going to keep the name separate. I'll post it on the flatearthpodcast.com. 10 a.m. on Wednesday, the 22nd. I will be live on a channel with 500,000 subs, nice. talking flat earth. The following week, I will be in Austin, Texas, having a meetup on the 27th in Texas. Let me make sure that I got that date right. With Matt Long. And that's going to be on the 27th? I don't even see the date. I don't know. It's on the 28th, Tuesday, May 28th. We're gonna be at Torchy's Tacos. You can find that on the app, on the Facebook, my Facebook page, flatearthpodcast.com, Flat Earth Podcast Facebook page. Hey Dave, what are you gonna be in Vegas, in Texas for? I have. I'm not gonna. You guys can figure it out yourself. I have 3 major interviews in person, in studio, maybe 4.
Primetime 99. Alex, oh no, probably not.
Okay, so I mean, do you not want us to actually guess?
No, I don't want you to guess because I'm not going to confirm or deny.
Okay, because I mean, we know what's in Texas.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in Texas.
Yeah,
there's a lot. There's just one of them that I'm not doing.
Steers and queers, and I don't see your horse.
All right.
One of them you're not doing.
But I'll let you know on the 28th.
This is really getting kind of J-ish. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. Fair enough. You got your own reasons.
We don't need any interference. And the thing is now, if the Looney Tunes want to interfere, they'll probably end up calling the wrong place anyway and getting them more interested in me. So go right ahead. I'm already booked.
Oh, if you've been kicked off 109 podcasts. I'm joking. Okay.
It's gonna be. This is huge. Let me just say, huge.
You're really making everyone think it's a certain thing right now. So
yeah. I don't know. I'm not even sure what that certain thing is.
Well, it's
I'll give you one hint.
Huge in Texas. So
I'll give you one hint. It's not Joe Rogan.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm glad you cleared the air, as you were clearly making everyone think that's what it was. All right. Yeah. Still, there are some big options there, though.
Yes, there are.
So very cool, man. And then Dave loves me so much that when he gets done, he says, "By the way, if you ever want to have someone else on for FE, you should talk to my boy Witsit."
1,000%. 1,000%. That's what I'll do.
Plug your app with all the extra adjectives.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. The app, hopefully this week. If not, if I'm dead at the end of this week, it's because we didn't finish and I'm going to kill myself. I'm not going to do that. Take that out of the universe. The meetup maker is coming and the matchmaker is coming. The matchmaker is actually, the setup is already live. If you go into your app profile, click edit, scroll down, you'll see a switch that says interested in the matchmaker. Turn it on and then fill out your criteria. Hey, I'm interested in men, women, age group, and then the radius. And then you'll be in the system. Now, you won't be able to use it yet, because you won't have a way to search to see who else is doing it, because you have to wait for that update to come out. But when it goes live, there'll be 1,000 people on it already, rather than, just 7 people, the first day. So if you're interested in meeting other people, friends, male, you could say, I'm interested in just meeting other single people. This is, mostly for single people. Just fill out your information and fix up your profiles, add some nice pictures, put some content about yourself so people can check you out and message you. This is going to be a game changer in meeting, people that fit your profile. So make your profile look nice, fill out that, get in there. So when it goes live and people start searching, they'll be able to find you.
I actually make a suggestion for the next update to the dating app. Some make it where the phone actually emits some type of frequency that will let you know if the user is genetically modified.
Well, the thing is, on the blue dots, 99% of them, except some people.
No, some people woke up afterwards, man. We need the technology.
Yeah. No, some people woke up after, but at least, and by the way, there's people that woke up after and they've done the proper detoxing stuff, and it's not a game changer, but
or maybe change the color just a little bit for people who had it before 2020.
I mean, just like a lighter blue. Let me know whenever you can detox your DNA.
Here's the thing. On your profile, feel free to put your V status if you want. Okay? Feel free.
Because people want to know if you're a virgin or not.
Yeah. Don't you have to go take a shower, man?
Yes, I know. Yes.
That vomiting face. That face that just vomits.
That freaking manure face.
Yeah.
Just
mushrooms grow out of your beard.
It's not hair.
Manure. It's manure. All right,
bro. Can you not grow a beard? Like, why is he talking about my beard? It's so weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's true. Listen.
You got hair on your face. It's like okay.
All right, it's okay. It's
okay.
So that's what's going on there. Remember, everybody, I need you 10 a.m. on the 22nd, 10 a.m. Eastern, You'll find the link on the Flat Earth Podcast Facebook page.
I almost forgot. We have 3 of us on here, and we don't even announce. So on the 22nd,
2 other things. Yeah,
we've got me against Dave in a trivia battle on the Melodome channel, and the donations for that are going to Austin and Kai for baby number 2. So do we have a link for that, or I'll go grab it and I'll put it in the chat? Nobody go anywhere.
Right.
Don't shut the show yet.
And if let me ask a question. If Toon is on my left screen helping me, is that cheating?
Just tell me at the end, and it's not. It's not even
Okay.
a lie.
As long as at the very end. Like,
Yeah, right before it ends, just point it out and you're good.
And then also tomorrow night, Monday night, 8 p.m., I'm on THC with Mike. And we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. I'm sure he's got some funny gags in there, but we're going to talk about my Tesla coil a little bit. And I might even have the maker of the Tesla coil join in for a little Q&A for anyone that's curious about that.
Meet him.
Yeah, well, it might be his wife. It might be his wife, but she's a genius in her own right. And it could be him also. I'm not sure. It depends on how the day rolls.
See if that link works. It should be. I don't know if I grabbed the whole thing. We click it and see. Do we go the right? Yes, there we go. So, all right, we're already at what, 20% of the goal, or is that 10%? 10%. So yeah, JT Run Boston Bear put it up, and let's support Austin and Kai. I think we can get to that total, and then you get to come watch David get destroyed. Be fun.
I'm gonna have Toon in my back pocket. Come on. You know what?
I know some of the questions, you guys. It's not going to be super easy, but it's not going to be super hard either.
No walking in the park.
It'll be fun. No walks in the park.
So what type of coordinate system do you have to transform for what kind of coordinate system do you have to transform for to actually make the relativistic correction to the linear interferometer of the Wang experiment 2004?
Cartesian.
ECM.
Cartesian. Yes. All right. Nah, I'm joking. It's like this personalized cylindrical coordinate system from the center of the apparatus, and then they use absolute space. It's like, yeah, this may not be
salad
real.
dressing to go with that?
Yeah, sorry. All right. Cool. Zach, what do you got?
You're right. Or if you're not there, I get to take the money.
Yeah, you get to take it. Oh yeah, thanks to everyone that set that up. That's very generous, and it would help Kai and I out a ton. So it's very nice.
What time is it, Dave? It's at 2 p.m. Pacific. Is that right or no?
I don't know.
It is on the 22nd, which is on Wednesday, and it is at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern, on the Melodome.
Nice.
Yes. Very cool. I love you guys in advance. All right, Zach, what do you got coming on, brother?
You can find me same place, same times over on Ironworks or Iron Rail Media. Sorry, we do Ironworks in the morning. And yeah, you can expect a new book to come out this week. It's up for review right now, and the Kindle is already out. It's called
You've already
Why
put the book
is
in?
The Sun. Yep.
The second book is in?
It's in.
Did you proofread it?
Yes. You proofread it. What are you talking about?
I didn't see the final cut, dude. Send me the final cut.
Yeah, I will.
Just make sure. And I'm going to recommend these books. These are, I'm going to buy a bunch of them to give to every little kid. They're awesome. And they all have they don't say flat earth, but they all come from a flat earth perspective.
That's right.
Yeah.
All will.
Yep. I do have an AI song that I could play on the way out of here. See, I don't remember which one was better, first and second one. I just wrote it during my show last night, or AI wrote it. I wish I did write it. But
I have it downloaded. Just send it to me. I'll upload it real quick.
Or I'll give you a link. You just have a link to it here. Copy. Whoops.
Okay. Or how about you just share screen?
No, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Zach, what else? What else you got?
That's it. Oh, and GLOBEBUSTERS Tech Thursday night. We're going to be covering I forget which map it is. It's a really neat one.
The globe.
Mundini map, something I forget. It's the old one that's got Antarctica, and Antarctica looks like islands on some parts of it. Like it shows water past the edge of the land.
Yeah, Bobby's
Antarctica. Yeah, it's the one that it's a bunch of tapestries. It's real huge in real life. It was done on a bunch of tapestries, and yeah, Cami's got a really good version. She can zoom in a lot on it.
Yeah, it's huge. It has all kinds of things written on it and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty neat. So we're going to go through that with the fine-tooth comb. She's been looking at it for the last couple of weeks, so it should be a good one.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay, I have the Lore Lodge debate in 30 minutes. That's the Lore Lodge. I dropped the link in the description or in the chat. Sorry, I'm trying to do this at the same time. And also on my X, it's posted, and you can just go to the Lore Lodge. 500,000 subs. Kind of talking big and bad on the internet. He's about it, right? He's talking kind of reckless on X. So we're gonna see how it goes. I think there's supposed to be a moderator, but there may not be. We know how it all goes, but yeah. Anyway, so it should be interesting. Let me share this with you guys while we're here, so you can hear it as well. And then Professor Dave, June 15th on the quartering, 1.5 million subs, 5 p.m. Eastern. June 15th. That's a Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. I finally debate Professor Dave on the quartering, 1.5 million subs. Should be interesting. So throw it on your calendar. Yep.
Nice.
That's all I'll announce for now. All right, cool. That's it. Anyone got anything else?
I got nothing.
That is it.
All right, cool. Be kind to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind because there's truth inside. Till next week. Peace.
Peace.
Pastor and his buddy, globe heads on the loose, spitting lies like fire. They're such a DS duo. Thinking twice about the stuff. Oh, you really ought to don't make Duff you up. Make you question what you thought of. Globe heads with their theories. They think they got it all, but I see through their act. It's just smoke and mirrors. Y'all don't let them fool ya. They're masters at deception. They'll make Duff you up. Ain't no misconceptions. Globe heads and lies spinning round and round, but we won't be fooled. We'll stay solid on the ground. Don't go to the south, don't wanna get picked up feet. Gotta keep our mind sharp, stay true and undefeated. Get McDuffie, gotta keep our minds sharp, stay true and undefeated.